Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation. All right.
Hi, I'm Eric Prince, traditional show style coordinator for U.S. Bands. Very excited for what we have coming down the road. To reflect on the past, our initial contest that we had at Prairie View A&M with Dr. Timmy Zachary was very successful. Excited for 2022. We're going to start in Montgomery, Alabama with Professor Brandon Howard out of Huntington College. Then we're going to return back to Texas at Prairie View A&M with Dr. Timmy Zachary. And then we're going to head up to Virginia State with Professor Taylor Whitehead. And then we're going to finish up 2022 back in North Carolina with my peer here, Mr. Gary M. Bryant.
Guess what? 2023, we got more exciting things coming your way. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to go down to Shreveport, Louisiana, Jacksonville, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, and we got one more, Jackson, Mississippi. So get ready. Here we come.
All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel. To my right, we got Maya and a very tired-looking Quan. All right, man. I'm pretty sure Portia's going to be joining us later. She more than likely still is at rehearsal. So,
braids! I see you. I see
man, you know, my wife just did them. We tried to see if the length was there in order for them to be done. So we went ahead and tried it, and that's what we got.
You gonna fade the side?
Well, I'm still coming back from this past weekend. They was faded this past weekend, so they grown in. But I'm going back to the barbershop and let them take care of that.
All right. Go ahead.
Trying something new. It is what it is.
The app, I get some braids. I see you.
Yeah, but this is as far as I'm gonna go though. I ain't gonna get the lock daddies. I'm good on those. I'm absolutely good on locks. I'm not gonna touch those with a 12-foot pole. All right, man. So what? Oh, anyway. But man, first of all, in the words of my good brother Quan, we had a time. This past weekend was super dope, super fun. I can tell you there were days when I woke up, I thought I was good the day before, but I really wasn't until the day after when I was like, dang, I was still kind of messed up. So I'm gonna tell you, man, we definitely had a great time. It was actually great being able to run into a few people. I ran into Deontay Kennedy at the battle. He was actually coming out, so we really didn't get a chance to talk a lot, but definitely. So what's up to him? We spent a lot of time with Justin, man. Justin spent 2 days with us, man. 2 absolute days, and they were exciting to say the least. But what I'm gonna do differently on this show today is I'm gonna open up the phone lines early, because you already know we're talking about the Battle of the Bands. We're gonna have a lot of conversation about those things, and so I'll actually want to hear everybody's opinions and everybody's thoughts. And I'm not going to save it to the end of the show on this one. On this one, I'm going to get the chance for everybody to, come in and respond. So before we get into that, though, Maya, how was your weekend?
My week or my weekend?
Your weekend. Because the week ain't done yet. The weekend, how was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic. I told you I was going to have me an ignorant ass time. One way or the other. It was gonna happen, and guess what happened? I did. Okay.
You sure did. You absolutely did. Hey, she said she was gonna have her little fit daddies ready. Oh, she had her fit daddies ready.
I did not get ignorant though.
You ain't get ignorant, but you had your fits ready. Let's keep it real. Listen,
No, that was slight work. That was really slight work, to be honest with you. That was very slight work. That was day of I don't know what to wear. Slight work.
okay.
But thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
If y'all ain't see Maya. All right, Quan, what about your weekend, bro?
It was great. Man, not all churchy, but you know, family. You don't have to be blood. It's the people that honestly that look out for you the most. But I'm just saying, like this talk, that talk family, like we real family and we really like each other. And like I said, from that Friday, Portia, let me say it publicly, thank you, Portia. She blessed my my majorette babies with flat flags and silks. Thank you so much for that. Was talking and speaking life into my kids. That's what it's about. Like I must say, this talk, that talk family, we're not just talkers, like we're action people. So first of all, thank you with that. Just chilling with everybody this weekend. The blessing that I had with the HEB and Houston Sports Authority of receiving money for instruments for the band. Just chilling with everybody, hearing everybody's opinion, just breaking bread and eating together. I mean, it was fire. It was fire.
Dope. Yeah, it was super dope. I can tell you this. Well, I'll say this, that if y'all, all of those watching, y'all got to get on board at some point when we all together at whatever event and spend time with us. Because I'm telling you right now, like Quan said, we had a time. We absolutely, matter of fact, what was it? Was it Saturday night when we didn't go to bed till we didn't leave till like 3?
Yeah, that was Saturday night.
And that was only because I said something. Like I looked down at the clock and was like, yo, we still got something to do tomorrow. So
I was gonna say, yeah, that's because we had plans today.
right. Because if that hadn't happened, I think we would have stayed out there till about 4 or 5, man. So look,
I ain't parking lot pimped in a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
When the security guard leave you, you know it's not your fun.
What security guard? Are we talking about Pineapple or are we talking about the
both of them? No, we talking about in the mink
Go kart.
Gotcha. Yeah, he was out. Matter of fact, the same nights was getting dropped off. So hey, it is what it is. But man, I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys ever want to spend some time with us like that, if we're ever out somewhere, man, we got a Patreon right now, man. So what you need to do is go into the link inside of the description of this episode, click on the Patreon, go to the Talk That Talk tier, and you can get in on any of these things that we're doing. We'll give you exclusive access to any of the things that we end up doing. You can stay up to 3 o'clock with us and also go to brunch and have some actual dope brunch with us too, because that brunch was off the chain. If I didn't have to drive back, I ain't okay. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. If I didn't have to drive back. Now that previous night though, oh yeah, it was and I'm not done. I said, if I'm gonna come on here, yeah, there we go. I told y'all, I wanted to make sure that we can try to recreate some of the feelings that we had. So there it is. All right, man, let's go ahead and get to this because we got a lot to talk about. National Battle of the Bands. So let me actually do it the right way. So here we go. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy right now to help us with these YouTube algorithms. Go ahead and hit that like daddy, man. Don't even wait on it. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network and turn on your notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Real Talk That Talk, or on Apple Podcasts, just type in Talk That Talk. All right. Also, I think I just put us on iHeart. So we are officially on iHeart too. So yay, congratulations to us. All right. All right, here we go. Let us talk some battles. Battle of the Bands. First of all, before we get into breaking down any band program or what we saw, general question. Maya, what was your thoughts on the battle as a whole?
You remember when Quan showed us that meme That said the Battle of the Bands could have been, what is it, summed up in an email or typed up in an email or some shit like that. To be honest with you, that's how I feel. I was very much underwhelmed, very much, very much. How did we get here? I mean, okay, so let me be clear. For the sake of the culturist types of things, it was fun. It was fun to be a band head with no strings attached, no right? That was great. However, from the switching of the fields to the overall performances themselves were just, I don't know, overall it just kind of was a little bit subpar. I'll just start with that.
All right, Quan, what were your thoughts? What was your thoughts on the National Battle of the Bands?
I mean, I agree with everything Maya said. I think it wasn't the bands per se, but it was the logistics of the I guess the powers that be that took the wind out of the sail. We're gonna be honest. That switching back and forth really killed it, because the very first year of it, that all of the bands next to each other, that right in your face, you know what I'm saying? You get to understand really what song is being played, because if you are on a 300 or 400 level and above on either side where the bands were faced, man, you had to like really listen to determine what's being played. You feel what I'm saying? So that really took a lot of wind out of the sail. I now, of course, you know, when I was on the field and the bands was playing, I was truly able to enjoy it. Now, not being ugly, maybe that's something that they want to consider. I know we can't sit on the field or put chairs on the field, but maybe they want to crank up a VIP section for us, you know, and have certain people on the field so that we can truly listen. But they need to go back to the format of having all the bands on one side so that we can truly enjoy, you know, those round robin type, you know, song battles. Outside of that, I think for me, that's what it really took it out, because it set the precedence of it, you know, in the beginning when they started playing. So after that, it was like, okay. So it wasn't, you can tell that the people that made that format, they weren't band heads or band people.
Okay. I will agree with you to some degree. As you all know, I spent most of my time on the field. And the field for the most part was more enjoyable for me. I guess, but for me, I guess it was because I was so busy talking to so many different people, and I had a chance to just kind of, you know, have conversations. I was hanging out with PV, met some of the old students, got to actually see Drew. For those of you guys who don't know Drew, he's my former student from Ozan High School, who's at Alcorn right now. Well, I guess he's the assistant, working as the assistant or a ranger or a student ranger, I don't know. But I actually got a chance to see him. I hadn't seen him since my last year teaching him, and so it was just good to actually see him. I caught up with some old folks from Norfolk and Virginia State and all those things. So for me, that part of it was more or less the most enjoyable part of it. When it comes to the band aspect of it, in a lot of ways, it left much to be desired. It was slightly underwhelming, and I'm gonna be honest, and you probably will never ever hear me say this. I actually preferred hearing the stand stuff than seeing the field stuff. The stand stuff was a little bit more enjoyable to me than the field stuff, but I also put that on the strength of, you know, for some reason I think that there's just a different energy that, you know, bands are putting more in the stands than what they're putting on the field. There's this lackluster kind of approach to the field that I felt kind of was very present when you know, you saw bands step on the field. I just remember, you know, being during my days, that was the hypest part of the whole day is getting on the field and being able to show your butt. But that was just from my perspective. I could be massively wrong, but from my perspective, that's just kind of how you know, I saw everything. All right. So let's break it down. Let's talk about these bands, and here we go. Who was the first band? I don't even remember.
Kentucky State.
Kentucky State. So let's talk Kentucky State first.
I thought you was gonna open it up to the.
Oh, I did. I put the link in.
Okay.
Yeah. The link is in there, as a matter of fact. So anybody in there, anybody who's watching right now, if y'all want to get in on this conversation, y'all can do that. But we definitely gonna talk about it too. Thoughts on Kentucky State, Quan?
I thought they were the little band with the big sound. Of course, I know there's like Justin's second home. That's his side chapter. So, he was hyping them up, but from our understanding, it was some financial reasons why their band wasn't the specific numbers that he spoke about first. But I still like their energy. I still appreciated what they brought to the table. And honestly, just looking at their performance with all of us as a whole, I think the great thing about this panel, the several different points of views are appreciated, like Maya's expertise on the dance line, as well as Portia's expertise with the auxiliary. I think they did okay. But I think, in my opinion, for a band that size, and because I'm not going to say bands in the South were first introduced to them, but this is my first not common knowledge that they came to Houston. I would have expected more from them because it was kind of like their debut, if that makes sense. So if you're going to show out at a stage at that type of magnitude, I expected a little bit more. In regards to auxiliary, they really didn't use them, in my opinion, to their full capability. The tuxedo look was cool. They made it work. Of course, we was chuckling at whoever split their pants and had the red draws. It is what it is, but I think they were cool. But that was really it.
I wouldn't read much into the field show right now.
So
okay.
I'm sorry, I was reading that comment.
You're good.
Go ahead. I'm
about to say, but just reading the comments says most field shows aren't complete certain season. I respect this. They shouldn't have came.
Yeah, I fully disagree with that.
Yeah, because let's be honest. We know as college students and as directors, there's a lot of variables that happens in people respected camps. But if you know you were going to that type of event, got a plan for it. It's all about preparation. Piss poor preparation produces piss poor production, and we know that. So
12 P's, baby. Maya, your thoughts on Kentucky?
So I can't lie. So opening up, when they first opened, I was like, "Ooh, okay, all right. I'm here for it." Now, once I understood, and I'm not saying yes or no, I'm not sure. Once I understood there were mics on the field, I was like, okay, well, let me take that into account. Now, the only reason why I say that is later on in the show, there was some other schools where the sound was debatable. And so with said schools being bigger and the sound not being as massive, I don't know if maybe somebody turned off the mics, if the mics were ever on. I can't justify left or right. So I'm just going to put that out there. But no, I agree. Small band with big sound, whether it's logistic wise or if it's just the size of the program this year. I think that they did what they could, but it did. As soon as I saw them, I'm going to fast forward to the end of the show, the band dance. And of course, this comes from a particular perspective, right? Is TikTok going to be the wave of this year's band dances? Because as soon as I saw them hit the TikTok dance, I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Is TikTok going to be the basis of some of these field shows this year? But I guess technically it's inevitable. But we can also talk about that a little bit later as well. However, it was cool for what it was. I did take some notes, and these are specific to the dance line as well as the color guard or their flag line. They weren't the last on my list in terms of my lineup of how the girls did. Now, I wish Portia was here. That way we could get into this a little bit farther. But the usage in terms of style when it comes to color guard flag girls versus the dancers, that's definitely always a sticky situation. But I mean, overall, there's definitely work that can be done. I think that this is one of those routines that they not necessarily scrap together, but it's definitely not perfected in any shape, form, or fashion. But for it to be first off and for it to be an introduction to Houston, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad.
All right. So one, I definitely am going to agree with you. TikTok dances are definitely the new wave. I would almost find that as equivalent to when we would watch music videos and get dances from them. That is the equivalent. So I for me, I would say unfortunately, because I'm just not a fan of those TikTok dances.
Sure.
But for culturally, that's just the thing. So I can't be upset with that. Quan, what you got?
So in regards to the TikTok, I think this is the new wave overall. I think you hit it spot on, Julian. When we used to watch videos back in the day, regardless if it was BET, MTV, that's where we got our dances from, or even from the perspective from regionally. I never forget when I first saw Southern and Grambling at Bayou Classic. They was doing the DJ Jubilee dance, walking like a dog. Like that was the big wave, or even pending the crowd that you were facing, you did a dance routine from that area or that region. Sure. I mean, when I first got to Houston, like we was doing the South Side, and I was like, bro, like this dance stupid. But being now that I'm a Houston resident, is like that's their ish. You know what I'm saying? So I think the TikTok wave is what we can relate to overall. I think Southern honestly tapped into something last year when they did basically the TikTok show. And I think, I hate to say it like this, and we call them the Kangs jokingly, but from a dance routine perspective, they set the precedence for that, to look for a TikTok dance when other bands, they were just, doing other simple things prior to. But I'm going to say this as we move forward. Kind of tired of step 2 drills, y'all. I'll save it for more as the show progresses, but yeah. I'm really tired of step 2 drills.
Because I definitely got some that a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on, but I definitely got something on that regard. Yeah, I think that, and I even said it, like the first note from Kentucky State was like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like that was their biggest high from the whole show, and then as it progressed on, it kind of became very stagnant. I also say that, and this kind of goes in regards to the step 2 drills as well. As I'm getting older, I'm slowly losing the zeal for wanting to see downfield drills and step 2 drills, because of the fact that for me, musically, it just takes away from it musically. Unless you have your downfield drill or your step 2 drill set up specifically to where the necessary voices are heard, then it almost takes away from the show, right? You have melodic voices who are facing end zone. You're not hearing the melodic line, whereas you have chords that are like moving towards you. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's where my gripe comes from, because as I was watching their show, I'm also seeing that happen within their show. Now, and this happens across the board. This even happens with DCI. So I don't want people to think like, this is just a bark on them. But when they stand still, I didn't have any problem with them. When they were playing for the dance girls and all that, there was a lot more cohesive sound. But on the move, when they're moving, it's just a different sound. It's just a different clarity. And so that's kind of where I felt like they lost some of that energy, that beginning energy that they started with. All right. Let's go. Who was next? I don't remember who was not. Trust me, I don't remember the order. So how about this? Since I don't remember the order, I'll just spitball, throw one out there, and then we'll just go from there. Oh, go ahead, Maya.
Oh, I thought you were talking about people who were like waiting to come in. I was gonna say just put them both in there, but never mind. I was.
Oh no. Today, I guess everybody want to hear us talk. They ain't got nothing to say. But
Chuck, come on in the room, Chuck. Chuck, come on in.
but once again, if y'all want to come in and comment on any of the things that we're talking about, any of the bands we're talking about, you are free to do so. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, so just go ahead and click that link. Who was there? Alabama A&M. I'm gonna be honest, didn't see their show. I was on the field.
Be honest, you didn't need to.
Didn't pay it to Smits. I'm just gonna say shots fired. I wasn't paying attention to their show at all. My bad. Quan, did you catch their show at all? Okay, so Smits daddy. If anybody in the chat caught their show, tell us what it was like, because I can't tell you not one thing that they played. I can't tell you their intro. I can't tell you nothing. I got absolutely nothing for you. So until then, let's move on. Grambling. Maya, what about Grambling? Did you see their show, first of all? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. So I am very excited that there is a lady band director. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's amazing. Kudos. Love it. Now, in terms of damn, we gotta get
Graham is taking the field. Let's see.
You want to stop and look?
No, go ahead. You keep going.
So I don't know. I just, you know how you kind of like meet your ceiling. I just feel like, honestly, like Grambling, I don't really know what else to expect from Grambling, right? So everything that I see from Grambling is kind of like what I expect. It's nothing that showed me any different, or nothing that excited me, nor nothing that was like, this is awful, or this is any different. This is just what, I don't know, just makes sense to me in this day and time. Growing up, going to the Cotton Bowl every year, my daddy being from Louisiana, this is just, I don't know, it's just honestly just how I feel, right? And again, I don't know the customs, but the whole dancing while the features are going on, that's always been a thing, but it's always been something that and so when it comes to, you know, I'm pretty sure there's a reason why. And, you know, I'm fine with tradition on their part. It's just something that I don't understand, and something that I'm not in the realm of getting on the bandwagon with. The feature, the orchesis, they're always technical. They're always clean. The show is not particularly entertaining. I think it had ebbs and flows, just like a lot of the shows that were put out on the field from every school. But, I mean, it just was what it was. Now, that twirler, it was good to see a twirler. It was good to see Grambling have a twirler. I don't know the last year we did this, and I'm not sure if they had one last year, but I just know, just from my general train of thought, it's been a while since I've seen them with the baton twirler. And yes, she did have some mess ups, but just for her to be able to get out and do what she had to do, love that. Now, what I did not understand, and what I did not necessarily love, was that her putting her on the side on the 40. I feel like if you're gonna feature, then feature. And I feel like that way, whether it's color guard, dance teams, or majorettes, baton twirlers, whatever you like to call it. I'm sure there's a reason why. I would have loved to be able to see her actually have her moment, have her time on the 50, move the drum majors back, moving forward, or whatever, and just give her a spot aside from it being like I got to turn my head to see what's going on.
Historically, Grambling has done this dance routine while the orchesis has performed.
Right.
I don't understand that either. I don't get it. And this is, and remember, I this is no shot at anybody, but everybody's entitled to opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one, right? So my thing is, and I think this goes back to conversations that we've had before. Traditions will shoot you in the foot. Mm. You know, it's traditional, and that's cool. I don't think there's a problem with having traditions, but at some point, you've got to say, okay, the toe tapping while the girls are actually performing to something that they really worked hard on, and you're taking away from what they're doing, is an issue. Like we have to, call it like it is. It's an issue. So no, I don't disagree with you on that. Quan, what do you got about with Grambling?
So I'm gonna say this, and this is my thing. I think what Dr. Roebuck has done for Grambling is amazing. Now, historically, we know that Grambling was one of the premier bands, period. For HBCU culture, for African American culture, it was. But we also have to be honest and say that they had some down years, right? And I think what she has done as Grambling band director, and not to make it seem like because she's a female, it should be elevated more, but we need to appreciate, as an African American woman, as an African American doctor, what she's done to revive that program overall, period. Like, you got to give her flowers while she can smell them, right? However, I think, Julian, what you said was the best way to put it. Some of their traditions, some of it just need to change. Like, okay, you gonna keep the big bass drum? Okay, cool. Not tripping. But to be dancing while the dancer's dancing is like what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, aesthetically, you can only focus on one thing at a time. And with so much going on, you're not even focusing on the orchesis. You're still looking at possibly the band dancers.
White shoes.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm sorry to cut you off. Them big ass white goddamn shoes. All you see is dope. Like, all you see is that shit moving around. Yeah. I'm sorry. I hate it.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that. And I think that twirler was twirling, bro. Like, she was doing some things. Like put aside, she dropped one of it, but she was doing her thing. And I just feel like the drum majors was like, in a way, I would have respected more if the drum major would have actually came off the field so that she can get in the middle and do her thing, because that was her time, especially when she was the only one. You know what I'm saying? So there was little nuances that I felt like if we took this out and put this here, I mean, it would have been a decent field show. But for me, it was overall kind of like the energy. And that's, for me, some of the shows that we saw, it kind of come across like the energy wasn't there. And that may be a point to you, again, to you, Julie, what you're saying. Maybe people are really focusing on the stand so much to where it's like maybe a field show comes across as a chore to some students. Like, oh, y'all know we got to get this done. Let's get this field show so we can get back on to learning this music. But band pageantry, I think, I'm an optimist. It's gonna come back. We see certain bands, they're doing their thing, but band pageantry still has its place in HBCU culture. It has to.
I don't disagree with that at all. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see the twirler. I didn't. And the reason, and I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I didn't see the twirler is because I was sitting on the 50, going on the other side. She was on the other side, so I didn't even get to that side. I could only see from the 50, and because I didn't go to the other side. So, I mean, but you all are saying some great things. But I definitely agree. Them Tic Tac shoes, it's a distraction, and it does take away from those girls. So yeah, them Tic Tacs, I mean, and that's tradition. But I mean, hey, if you're gonna have them out there, don't make them,
Dude, but could you really imagine what would happen if you got rid of them?
I'm not, but no, yeah, it would be a complete issue. Like, people would.
That's crazy, bro.
Some shoes.
Which would be worse, getting rid of the bandos? Are they called bandos? I always call them bandos. I don't know if they actually call bandos.
Depends on the company they're coming from,
Fair. But would it be worse to get rid of the shoe or get rid of the dancing while the features is going on? I don't know which one would have the bigger.
I think either or would be a big issue.
Yeah.
Child.
Either or would be a major issue. So
next caller, come on.
Yeah, you see what happened to the volleyball coach. Just being honest, bro. Like alumni, like I hate to say it like this, alumni, bro, has so much pull to where they don't even sometimes want to see things that's new and innovative. And sometimes that's our downfall. But hey, bro.
I don't know. What did I say? You said I watched like 5 clips this week, and you said it 3 times. What did I say 3 times? But yeah, okay. That's Grambling. Bethune. Another one I didn't really watch, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because I just said it more than once, but I said I was gonna say it today. But Maya, what'd you think about Bethune?
Why keep going first?
No, Quan went. You went first on the first band. Quan went first on the second band. That's back to you. Portia ain't here right now. So
I just went back to back first.
No, you didn't. Okay, Quan.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
No. You complained about it, Quan. Bethune. How did you feel about Bethune?
I feel like Bethune was Bethuning. Like we know their great sound. We know they was gonna, and I think for us, that's one tradition that we low-key get excited for, even though we're not Wildcats. But when they do their, their Wildcat song, everybody in the crowd, Wildcats, let's go! Like all of us singing it. So I mean, Bethune was Bethune. We knew that their concert number was gonna be fire. I haven't had a bad concert number from Bethune, period. I mean, and when they played that particular song, I think it was Confunction Love Train. They had the cell phones, they did their thing. So I don't have an issue, with Bethune. But what I must say is this, because they were on the opposite side of where we were, I really wish they utilized their flags a little bit more, because their flags can really, they can really be featured better, in my opinion. But to just stick them in the back and be like, all right, go ahead, do your thing. They could do better for that.
All right, Maya, Bethune. Are you ready now? Is it okay if I call on you now?
I guess.
Okay.
So I mean, I like Bethune. So okay, I'm gonna tell you this. My crab year, was it my crab year? Either whatever SWAC MEAC challenge that we went to Florida, that was before y'all got there, right? I think maybe that was my first time seeing them live. That show, when I say phenomenal, the same feelings that I get when we talk about that particular JSU game, put that times 12. That show was phenomenal, right? So when I think about Bethune, I always connect it to how I felt that day, right? So yes, they did a great job, but it wasn't what I expected from end to end. It was great, but it wasn't what I epitomized Bethune to be, right? So even stepping off the line, we were not 8 to 5. We were not all stepping on the hash or on the line at 8. You know what I'm saying? So like the whole issues with lines, squads being a little bit off, and I think lines being straight and all those things, that was something that has occurred across all or pretty much all the schools, but that it didn't hit home to me like I wanted to because I don't get to see them live very often. What you said about the flags, right? So they were marching squads again, maybe due to logistics, due to some unforeseen circumstances, maybe they had to stick some people in there. Who knows what the reason was? But definitely when it comes to utilizing your color, when it comes to utilizing your flags, I would like to see us be able to do more of an integration as opposed to boom, boom, right? Ban flags or ban flags or ban flags, which is very seldom them right in the front being quote unquote featured, right? So I think that there are some missed opportunities there, but without a doubt, I would definitely put Bethune's flag line as the number one of the night. They did what they had to do. It was clean. I would have loved to see an iridescent or a very like silky gold type flag, but I mean, that's just aesthetically pleasing to me. I was not able to see 14K's feature that much from what I saw. It just gave me this is 14K. But yeah.
So I have a question, do we feel that because we know that Bethune-Cookman is a top tier band overall, right? Like consistently. Do we feel that they're so good that sometimes, like even when their performance is not that episodic moment, like you saying, Maya, it's still kind of like because they're that good?
What you mean, like give them a pass or what?
No, like because like they did great, but it wasn't like the first time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that time. Like, so for me, first time it was 2007 Honda when they played Amazing Grace on the field. That's the best Bethune-Cookman to me. I think they still was BCC at the time. They wouldn't even. They might not have been BCU, but like that when they played Amazing Grace, like that was the ish. But like now, it's certain things they play. I'll be like, man, that sounds great, but it wasn't that one. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, could you be that good overall from a historical place to where it's like, oh, that was great, but it wasn't 97. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I mean, I mean, to answer that question, I mean, I personally agree. I mean, I personally feel that if you've been consistently doing the same thing for X amount of years, it's almost like unless you really change something up, nothing surprises me, right? Like,
exactly.
I expect you to sound good. I expect for the slow piece to be great. Like, and when it's great, it's like, oh, okay, that was great. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I tell you guys about my FAMU experience, right? Like, I had watched FAMU forever, but my first true experience from them was the 2005 Honda when they turned around and they opened up on that Bulls theme. Send chills up my spine, right? But like anytime I hear fam now, it's like, it's fam. I expect that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of agree with what you're saying, Quan. Let me tell you my Bethune thing. All the people, I done said this all weekend. I done said it more than once, and I'm gonna say it again. I stopped paying attention to Bethune after the drum major entrance. Let me tell you why. They lost me. They lost me because of that. And so you have a program with a drum major line that made national everything with one dance, which is the thing they always do. You had a better chance of captivating the crowd at the beginning of your show by actually playing that song from the exact TikTok daddy and having them go out and hit that joint for like 16 counts. You would have tore the whole crowd up, but instead you just did a regular intro. You got to use what you got. Like, for me, I watched that and I was like, bro, like, I was expecting them to do that and they just didn't do it. And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. Use everybody. Celebrities were doing this joint. Like, everybody was doing it. This was the perfect time for you to capitalize on the thing that you do best. Well, one of the things you do best, because they play great ballads. But that's the thing you do best. You should have capitalized on that and gotten the whole crowd going crazy. Because remember, everybody in the crowd ain't bandheads. Some of them are just normal people, and they've seen the same exact dance. And when they see y'all do it and really capitalize on it, man, come on, man. Y'all could have won the whole crowd over. But once I saw that they didn't do that, I was like, nah, I'm good. And really, I was good. I turned around and I just stopped paying attention, because at that point, I'm like, man, somebody, when it comes to drill concepts, was not thinking. That's just my personal opinion. I could be absolutely wrong, but that is my personal opinion. So,
I mean, fair. When you said that, I said I didn't think of it like that, because BMA, I thought the same thing. It's something like it didn't quite register in my head, but something felt like, nah, at some point they're gonna hit this out. Hey, baby, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
it was coming at some point. And so for it not, I was like, okay, well, maybe they're going, we're so classy, we're so who we are. We ain't gotta do that to be able to get recognition or to be able to be exactly, the best or whatever the case may be. Now, definitely an area of missed opportunity. I will not lie. I agree with you on that, especially in such a type of event. It's a nigga event. Let's get
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like, let's get in it. Why not? Like, why not?
All right. Well, real quick, or maybe the whole day. We don't know because we know how it go when it happened. Let's bring our brother in. He spent 2 days with us. Well, a day in the morning.
Come on, bring my friend up in here.
Hopefully he's recovered. He's good. All right, what's going on, bro?
Y'all, he is a big man. A big man. I said, damn.
Just
What up, y'all?
Justin the tail of this talk that talk line.
Period.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's good with y'all, man? Y'all been talking. I was knocked out. I heard Maya in the kitchen. I say, wait, that's wrong. Yeah, man. Y'all good? That was good.
Oh, we good. We good now. We've recovered. You know,
man, I banished it. Like I stayed in Houston a whole another 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you could have came to the school.
I ain't even thinking about it, man. I went 8. I did all kind of stuff, man.
Okay.
Posting videos, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Man, we had you messed up for a while. My bad.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
All right. Who do we? Oh, all right. Here we go. Prairie View. Thoughts on Prairie View? Since Maya says I call her too much. Well, here you go, Justin. You here? Justin, thoughts on Prairie View? We're just talking field show for right now. Just field show.
A field show? I actually rewatched Prairie View show today. Look at my page. The last videos I posted. I love the damn Fox's field show routine. Man, the up, down, everybody jump together. Fire. I didn't even catch it there that I was recording it. I like that. I like the ballad. Even though I don't still play the same ballad. It's crazy. People gonna react to that. But overall, I feel like it was like a band camp show. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've seen a lot more PV shows that's way better than that. Like, you know, typical trumpets come to the middle and crank that hole and make the little V. I don't know what formation they made. I just expected a lot more, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was just like I feel like all the bands that, like, you know, this is the band camp band. This is what we got. So I'm excited to see what more that they bring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people talking about the Michael Jackson thing, that a lot of people didn't get it. They didn't catch it, or either was wondering, like, why? What is that? You know what I'm saying? So the auxiliaries, yes. The show itself, not so much, but it wasn't the worst. So I think, you know, that's my thoughts on it.
All right. Maya. See how Quan tried to sneak out of there. Maya.
Exactly. He tried.
It's a fly. It's a fly in here, and I was trying to kill it.
Is that what you've been doing this whole time? You've been swatting this whole time. All right, Maya, your thoughts on PV?
Lord have mercy, the home team.
Well, that's your home team. Yeah. Quan, come back, Quan.
Exactly. Come on in here, big man.
I'm trying to kill the fly, y'all. I don't want to be swatting on camera.
You don't want to be the fly for homecoming. I heard what you said.
Exactly. Now I can't go back to Hawaii because I'm
like everybody know I fight. So I'm not gonna say where, but it's footage. Like real time, I'll fight me.
It wasn't that bad, man. Go on, man.
I'll go before Maya. You want me to Maya?
No, you got it. If you want to call me.
I mean, so I don't think it was bad. I think I was expecting, like for me as a percussionist, I was expecting the drum feature. Like honestly, from that part, and also you got to realize though too. We didn't see PV last year, but their first year that I guess it was open when they when they blew out Miles when they played that Genesis, like it's kind of like we expected that same PV, that same intensity, that same energy. And with that type of drum feature that they had, like in the words of Prophet was butt kicking playing, that's what it was certain nuances of Prairie View that I was like, I'm about to get that right now. So when I didn't see the drum feature, I was like, damn, like it's not a drum feature. Like I was expecting them to like go ham. PV sounded great. Like we're not gonna act like they sound bad because they didn't.
Right.
So that was that. But I hate to say it like this. For me, it falls into that Bethune-Cookman aspect too. Like they've been consistently good for so many years to where it's like, man, like that's PV.
Okay. All right. See, Quan made it. Your turn.
I'm scared.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, okay, so I think where we are now with the home team is that we've made it to our next era, our next genre of PV, right? So we've made it to our structured genre of PV, right? So just like a little bit of what we were talking about over this past weekend, the ebbs and flows. I mean, every program has one, but a lot of the work that had to be put in to kind of stabilize and neutralize PV in terms of the types of bandsmen that were a part of the program. And I'm more so saying the shift of a lot of the folks that like to get a little ignorant versus the ones,
All the Dallas folks. I got you. Go ahead.
No, not even that. But the folks that like to get ignorant and really got that got that dog in them, you know what I'm saying? Having to switch that and come to a new type of era, I think it now portrays on the field. Now, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I think it's different, right? So it's not what I am known PV to be, right? And mind you, I was in the transition of 3 different bands of my own, basically. But it was lackluster, right? And so I tried to give a pass of, okay, well, LDC is next weekend, so maybe they just need to put something on the field, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if it was Portia or if it was you, Luke. Somebody said something about a missed opportunity. Why would we take a chance? PV don't never take a chance at a missed opportunity. So playing devil's advocate, maybe it was Portia. Missed opportunity of like, why would we just not hit the ground running 10 out of 10? Because there were times where we would have 3-5 field shows known front to back, top to bottom, ready to put on the field no matter what you call, if it came to that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, just overall, it was just kind of lackluster. Even down to the band dance, it was a little weird for me. I didn't quite catch the theme. It wasn't until later on that I was like, oh, this is a Michael Jackson thing. Not sure what the formation on the field was. I thought it was a little Panther scratch. Apparently, I don't think that was it. Apparently, it was supposed to be Michael Jackson leaning or something like that. I'm not sure. But just overall, it was almost, well, not even almost there, but it was like getting there, but it didn't quite make it. It didn't quite land. Now, the Foxes, their feature, when I tell you them girls can dance us on the table, shit. They can dance us on the table technically, for sure. But I do think in terms of like the swag and some of the energy was not there, which I did not love. But again, that could be accustomed to a whole bunch of different things. Twirling Thunder, I liked it. I did not love it. There's also a transition that's happening with the styles of Twirling Thunder. It was good. I think we could have done a little bit more. I would have liked to see more tosses and things of that nature, but it wasn't terrible at all. But yeah, honestly, I think TT on the mic was a saving grace for the overall show. If TT would not have it would have been a little different. It would have been a little different.
But you know what pissed me off? Like I saw some comments where some people was like she was overkill, and I was like,
you ain't seen her be overkill, hun. You ain't seen her be overkill, hun.
But this is what I told him. I said she's one of the best announcers in the SWAC. In my opinion, she's one of the best announcers in HBCU band.
Gender or not.
Do you feel like that's a bias thing that you have going on?
No.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just asking you. Do you think it?
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh no. The reason why I say no is because not being ugly. Let's pick our announcers. Some of the most famous announcers that you're gonna have is the like subtle voice from like Bethune and Fam. Like this is like it's very subtle. You feel what I'm saying? Like not gonna say monotone, but it's subtle. We know 100. Yeah. You know, Southern from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We have, you know what I'm saying?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Louisiana is the technical sound like, but TP, yeah, I'm saying,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, look at the move. look at The Rock. Look at like we know that, but TT gonna give you a concert.
Yeah.
TT gonna give you a gospel show.
Yeah.
You gonna worship. Like she has the full gambit of it of entertainment to captivate the crowd. That's why I say like when they were saying that and I saw the comments, I was like, bro, that's some BS because
Well,
TT.
I can see that though. It took me a minute to get to used to TT. You know what I'm saying? When I first heard, I was like, this is a lot. Like I know she's gonna go for the female thing to get the crowd. Okay, the girls can go crazy with that. But it's something about this one. Like this probably was the best one I ever heard her do. Like she really like caught the crowd like this time, and everybody. You heard the crowd on that PV, and
We used to that, but we're used to that though.
I don't think everybody else that it was. It might be somebody first.
It's different.
It's the area, bro. You in
Yeah.
You in Houston.
No, it's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I've seen her do that at Honda.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a little bit different because we're at home. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to
so let me say this real quick, and if anybody else has anything else, because I'll just give my thoughts on PV and then I'll go back to TT. So I don't disagree with what you said, Quan. I mean, PV sounded like PV. I mean, at the end of the day, they didn't sound bad. So I don't want anybody to think like they were just terrible.
No.
But what I will say for me personally, there was no like ebbs and flows to the show. It was just kind of one way.
Fair.
The whole way. You know what I'm saying? It didn't, there were no high points for me, but there were no low points either. It was just like coasting.
Fair.
So that's kind of where I put my thoughts on that show, and I definitely will say that TT saved the show. TT for me, I don't know, because she was a former student, and now just announcer. For me, I take what she does personally because I remember her first show when she announced. I remember the conversation that we had, because for those people who don't know, I was an announcer for Norfolk State for like 2 to 3 years, and I've been a DJ and all that kind of stuff. So I've had to, her first show, I had to tell her some things, to really understand what she needed to do to get the crowd going and blah blah blah. And then after so many years, she started adding her own flavor to it. Watching her and what she did at this show, for me, I felt like she got it. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows what to do. She has really, really embodied who she is and how she approaches the mic, how she approaches the crowd, and I really think that she started the show off. I think she saved the show. I don't think she talked too much. She didn't talk a lot during the drill. She let the drill and everything else speak for itself. I really think that she did what she was supposed to do as an announcer. And I thought she was great. I just going back to the TT conversation.
Quan, maybe it was she smashed it, and I guess the show didn't live up to what she introduced us to. You know what I'm saying? That could be a thing. Like y'all made her do all this for this. You know what I'm saying? That's probably how some people might have took it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but TT, she smashed that thing. Yeah.
No, she for sure. Like when it comes to TT, she has a musical background. She has crazy what?
I'm trying to see like what that comment means. Like,
she has.
We're gonna ask him, but let Maya go ahead.
Musical background. She has comedic timing. She has a personality that's out of this world.
That's her gift.
No, for sure. Like, and when I think about her growth, just like Luke said, like she didn't tapped in. She in her bag right now. Like she in that sweet spot where she's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like she comfortable and she knows exactly what to do.
You know she good.
Yeah. I don't want to say cocky. I want to say she's hit a stride. She's in a good place to where she ain't got to do too much, and it's also effortless at the same time. Even with her ad libs and things of that nature, they just come off so quickly and so off the dome, but it's seemingly perfect. So for sure, TT was definitely the light and the savior of that particular show. I mean, we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. What you said there, it was very copacetic. It was very neutral. It was very like, boom, we did what we had to do. It was enough. It was enough. Maybe it was a stay tuned to next week to really see us. Maybe that's what we're doing.
We saving everything for TSU.
Now that's another conversation we can have.
But that ain't gonna happen today.
Oh,
but I guess not to prolong, but I'm just trying to understand because like I read the comment, I'm trying to understand what Brother Scarfinger like meant. Like,
Scarfinger explain that for us. And while we're waiting for him to explain that, there's somebody that I know Portia specifically wanted to talk to, but she isn't right here. I'm gonna text her in a second.
Is it Chuck?
You know it. What up?
Oh, that's who I want to talk to. Bring him on in. Come on in.
What up?
Boy, let me tell you, them nights when we was out hanging out, they said they wanted to see you. Let me take Portia.
Chuck.
They wanted to see me.
Oh yeah, they wanted to see you. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is, do you have to go? Like you good?
No, I'm good. I'm actually in the car on the way home.
All right,
so I'm good.
All right, give me 1 second.
We ain't got no insurance.
Give me 1 second. We're gonna talk about two more because I think we only got two more, Southern and A&T, right?
Right, and I'm gonna be honest, I only saw like 3 shows. I've been so busy this week, which I saw Southern's, A&T's, and Cookman's.
Well, hold up. Let's talk about Southern first. Let's talk about Southern show first, and then we're gonna circle back around to A&T. So Southern, Quan, what did you think about Southern?
Southern was Southern. We're talking like for real. Like we knew for a fact, let's be honest. When it comes to, and that's why I said earlier, and I saved this comment from earlier. When I say the reason why I'm tired of step 2 drills is because I feel like Southern has mastered it. We're talking. So when you look at step 2 drills or downfield drills, in my opinion, if I became a director of bands tomorrow, I feel that I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that was, but here she go. Hold on. Keep going, Quan.
I feel that at the end of the day, Southern has mastered it. I feel like they've done it, and I think we need to evolve to something else that every band can market themselves as. Because at this point, you can't outstep 2. I'm gonna say it like this: you can't outstep 2 to step 2 drill masters. At this point, I
agree to that.
Like at this point, like let's just leave it alone. You feel me? I think anytime Southern travels to something like this, like it's like not just a recruiting tool, because I don't feel like at this point Southern has to recruit, but I feel that like they're trying to prove like, we know we here, bro. You know what I'm saying? The show was nice, and something that you said, Luke, they show did have ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying? But it had high energy though the entire time. So, I mean, they did their thing. Shout out to frat brother, double frat, Kenneth. Back to one. He wrote the hell out that hoe. I mean, and even real talk, I'm gonna say this, and this is the only compliment I'm gonna give Southern for the rest of the night. Y'all dance routines have gotten better over the years, because I remember Southern dance routines used to be trash. I'll just be honest. Bro. They used to be trash. They did. I mean,
okay, hold on.
I don't think they were trash when they did.
Whoa. Now,
I don't know.
Listen.
I didn't like the dance routines.
Span of years.
Yeah.
Huh?
Are you talking about a span of years?
I'm saying, like, so you remember when Southern used to break up into them 4 squads, and then they used to like, I didn't like
that. Oh shit! That's me.
I'm waiting for them to pull it back out the bag. Okay, I'm waiting on them to pull the 4 boxes back out the bag.
That was my joint. I used to love
it. But the last few years, I think the dance routine has been fire.
I don't know, Quan. Do you remember me that Soul Train now, Mr. J?
Shit.
They don't need to do that again. They don't need to do that again.
They've been doing that since the 70s.
Yeah, don't get over to me.
All right, Maya. What about Southern? What'd you think?
I would disagree, Quan, when you said that. I think Southern's like, well, shit, we Southern, let's show out. I want to say I don't think that they technically showed out. I just think it was just like a Southern ass show where it was like me and Portia was out getting drinks, and I saw it was Southern. And there was no rush for me to go back in because I was like, I mean, I know what it's gonna be.
I agree.
Like, thank you, girl. I already know what it's gonna be. Now, let me tell you something. Now, when it comes to those dancing dolls, my friends, when it comes to those dancing dolls, when I tell you the girls were dancing, the girls were dancing. I was like, and I was going up the steps like this, like I was trying to get back up to the seat, but I was like, oh shit, they didn't caught my eye.
I remember that. Yeah, you were.
The girls
you was walking
were
up the steps pretty slow. Y'all were going up them steps slow.
Because I was like,
I was trying not to die while I was looking at them.
We were trying to fall.
Yeah, you would have rolled. If you would have rolled down them joints, that would have been terrible. Because
it just would have been. I would have just had to sit in it, but it would have been worth it because the girls were definitely dancing, and knowing that there's been, like the transitions we've had, director transition or coordinator sponsor. I'm not exactly sure what their verbiage is. My apologies. I'm not sure exactly how many freshmen that they had, but I think that it is a sizable amount if I'm correct. But I was like, my mouth is watering. Like the girls were damn dancing. I was very much impressed. Easily my top number one of the night. It was the technique was the dynamics of it all, the levels of it all,
Okay.
Jeez. But as Southern as a whole, it was just a Southern ass show. The dolls were the highlight of that particular show for me. But everything else was just they sounded. I mean, they was loud as fuck. I was like, damn.
Yeah, we'll talk about
that. Still? But I mean.
Well, I'm gonna say this. We already know what Justin thinks about Southern, so we're not gonna let Justin.
I take a Southern ass show as a compliment, like the standard. So everything to that, okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I said. We already know. We already know what your thoughts were on that. And then Chuck, you said you didn't even see the Southern show yet.
No, I saw it. I saw Bethune-Cookman and A&T.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Southern, just right quick, I thought Southern show was, like you said, it was a Southern show. The dolls were dolling. Like, it was some of the best that I've seen from them, from uniforms to just technique. I don't know, lack of a better term, maybe enamored, like, by their performance. It was really good. And especially, I did, like, a little, like, comment about it when I was watching it on Facebook Live. And I think all the girls had, like, long hair, but there was one person that had short hair, but it still blended in with what they were doing. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was good. It was good. Drill wise, again, you're gonna get what Southern does all the time. They the step 2 masters, and the kaleidoscope masters, and that's what you're gonna see from there. Shout out to Collins. Like, I was talking about it on my live. Like, his conducting has gotten a whole lot better from what I saw last year. He's matured, and that's probably with getting comfortable. I know year one, it can, on that level with all that sound, and not saying he didn't have it in his bag before, but I saw some more things maturity-wise, like on that podium, just command, and that was really good. And the arrangement, I thought was great. I thought it was great. And so, yeah, I thought the show was, what I'm saying, the shows that I watched, I thought they were clean. And good presentation, but I just wish, you guys talking about it earlier, take that same what they're doing, step 2s and stuff like that, but face that sound home. A lot of bands are scared to do those same type of things because you don't have the lines there. If they do that and let that sound come home, because at one point in their drill, they faced home right before the dance feature happens or the ballad happens, and it was great sounds. And I'm like, man, we lost that for 2 minutes. Or a minute and a half. And so, again, we play for the audience. And so I just wish if they would maybe take some concepts, face that sound forward, then it would just be a better overall presentation.
Say, Justin, somebody said dance routines really started getting entertaining when LaDante got there. I agree. My opinion.
I guess. I mean, like I said, I've always been a fan of Southern dance routine, so that's me. Oh shoot, you talking, Justin? You on mute though?
Oh no, I disagree. Dante was the truth, and he did bring his gifts to Southern University. But the dance routine is something I always kill. I mean, I would hope you talked about something else like that you think was better. But the dance routine, always been fine. I mean, it's fine, but Southern was Southern. That's
Let me say a few things, and then we're gonna really. I'm gonna say what I need to say, and then I'm gonna back out. So, the first thing that I want to say is I agree, Southern. I mean, it wasn't for me, I wasn't like, oh my gosh. I mean, I guess because I've seen Southern so many times that it was just kind of like, okay, it's Southern, to address Scarfinger, just what he said. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Well, first of all, let me put it this way: if you know TT, and let me, because it's weird. It's really weird for me to call her TT because we called her Jill Scott. But if you know Jill Scott like that, you will know that what she portrays on that field is exactly who she is. She ain't playing up no sexy. She ain't playing up none of that. That's who she is. She throws 8 counts. Like literally, she throws 8 counts in the middle of a rehearsal. Like that's what she does. That's who she is. So if you feel like she's playing up that sexy thing, she's not. That's her character. That's literally who she is as a person. And that's just from knowing her personally. I know you guys are looking at her from the outside looking in, and it seems like she's playing this role. She ain't playing no role. That's who literally she is.
Luke, you don't even have to explain that, bro. Like when we met TT, I met at Honda a few years ago. I was like, dang, this is actually her. I come up and speak, don't know who you are. Hey, what you doing over here by yourself? Like, that's her, you know what I'm saying? So,
and she will talk to you, and she will be extra excited, and she's gonna be flamboyant. She may even hit you with some Spanish in the middle of that. Like that's who she is. And I'm only explaining it just because of what Scarfinger is saying, and he was saying that they were talking about that in the live. I need to explain it because I need you guys to know that's just her personality. And on top of that, I don't even think there's anything wrong with her mentioning the fact that she's the only female announcer. Like that's a badge of honor. You should wear that with pride. So her mentioning that, I don't even see that as a negative. So that's just what I personally want to say about that. Now let me move on to the last band, North Carolina A&T.
That's not the last band, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Nah, Alcorn was there.
Oh shit! Alcorn.
We'll do Alcorn.
I know you lying.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I didn't watch Alcorn show. I'm not trying to be funny. I really didn't, because I caught them in the stands, but I don't remember their show. That's why
I gotta say they had one of the best dance routines too. Girls.
Okay.
Watch it. Yeah.
Well, who watched Alcorn show?
I watched it.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Justin. I'm not trying to be funny nor rude. That I didn't see Central show, BCU show, and Alcorn show.
Central,
so that's my fault.
True.
Central was not.
I mean, A&M.
Tough. Now you down bad.
Yeah, bro. God. And you was on the field. You was on the field. You took an edible? What you doing?
Leave my past in the past.
That was yesterday, apparently.
To clarify, I think Scarfinger was saying he don't think that she was playing up sexy. He just thought that of her that she is sexy.
She is sexy.
Oh well,
okay.
Look at a number if you're trying to.
No, for sure. Like when I tell you TT is a time.
Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
Listen here.
Bring TT on the show next week.
You trying to shoot that shot, my guy?
A couple words for you for sure.
I'm telling you. Now look at here. Now TT is a whole nother. I don't know if you're ready for that.
It'll change your life. It'll a whole lot, but it'll change your life.
I'm telling you.
Boy, better just play your cards right, because last thing you want is I don't want no scrub show from PV.
Oh Lord, exactly.
Just keeping it 100. All right. I'm sorry. So Alcorn show. Alcorn, what you got, Justin?
Alcorn had a good show, man. I mean, the L drill, I expected a lot more, because whenever you say the L drill, I think about Southern. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the band director is from Southern too. So like, I see this Everson Martin's band, and I see the level he's trying to bring Alcorn to, and I'm just giving him hats off. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been a lot better, but it's Alcorn. Alcorn never really wowed you with shows, but to me, these past couple of years, like look at the last SWAC championship. I mean, the SWAC championship show, the homecoming show from last year, and this show, like they're really stepping the ball game up. Dance routine, but the dancers feature. Another thing, I was surprised to see them start the show off with their flag team, like the feature their flag team in the middle of the field. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was okay. You know what I'm saying, to say Alcorn popping out and they really a new direction finally. Or maybe because I know a lot about Alcorn personally, but I guess yeah. But it was a pretty decent show. Could have been a lot better, but I still don't think it was the worst show.
I'm sorry. That's one of the best pickup lines I've seen in a good minute. Did y'all see that comment?
Yes, sir. I see it. You see what I put in there? He said, "Hey, he said
my name is Mike. She ain't even got to change the name. I know that's damn right. TT on the mic.
Yeah. Hey, don't play with me. I put in the phone there. I will put in the phone right now. But hey,
this is the first talk that talk hookup. We make it
right.
Thank you.
They might come back and be like, "Look, man, we didn't got married and everything." Thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
We at the wedding,
right? All right. Anybody else see Alcorn show?
So I saw it, and again, that's why I make the comment. You can't do a Southern drill and not be critiqued from the Southern comparison. I know that he graduated from Southern, but that's why, in my opinion, I would have done something different, because everybody will hold you to that Southern standard because that's your house. You feel what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have did the L drill, because when I saw them come on, I was like, oh, this ain't nothing but Southern. When them squads started breaking out, I was like, man, that's a Southern drill. But I must say, that's one of the harder drills to do, because one wrong move and y'all slapping each other. It's over. So I commend them for doing that. But I just encourage, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not at that level. Let's be clear. But I encourage people to set a precedence and make a precedent of their own, like make their own lane. Everybody can't be Southern. Like, we have a Southern. That's just my opinion. We have a Southern. Everybody cannot be Southern. So that's number one. Number two, the flags wasn't utilized at all. That's why Portia was pissed off. Like Portia was low-key fighting mad, like straight up. And I'm happy Harris County wasn't around, because she might have been in jail till Tuesday, because she was that fighting mad. Because they literally, and she put my eye on it, because the flags was in the middle. They marched all the way to the side like just an old school St. Augustine flag holders. Got to the sideline. They got to the sideline, and then they stood there. They stood there all the way to the dance routine, hit the dance routine.
They put the flags down after they had stood there that whole time, put them shits on the ground and started dancing. What? I'm sorry, it wasn't my turn.
No. And then picked them back up and then marched off. So, and all of us, me, Maya, we was like, so why did they left the SIP? Like, they could have just stayed. Now, that was an email that they could have sent. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like, and so, like, honestly, this weekend showed me, even for myself, even showed me for myself that sometimes band directors, we can be insensitive to auxiliary. I think Rick said it on the show. He was like, we need to learn how to utilize our auxiliary. But that was a prime reason on a large stage that they could have been utilized in a better way. Like I say, I don't think it was a bad show, just in my opinion. If you would have changed the uniform and put them in blue and gold, would have been like, oh, that's a Southern drill. The only difference is most of the lines wouldn't stray to Southern.
So let me say this, because like I said, I didn't see their show. As you all were talking, I just watched their show. So when you all were talking about the L drill and all that kind of stuff, I know I had seen Southern do it before. And watching that, looking at the beginning of the setup, I was like, wow, they really did sit up here and set up in that. And then as you guys were talking, I was looking at the flags where they literally just was in the middle, walked off, went to the sideline, went to the back, stood there for a long time, walked to the back, and then came on for the dance. Yeah, I saw all of that. But here's another thing that I just watched that I thought was very interesting. And I don't know if this is the old guy in me. I don't know if it's just me caring about field shows or not, but the marching was lackluster. I'm just talking about their energy and feet timing was just so lackluster. It was almost I mean, even though they have the stripe going down the side of their pants, which does add a lot of flair to your drill, you can still see that there's laziness in the way they pick their feet up. You know, and that's what I really was looking at more than everything else. So yeah, I had time to now watch the show. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion on that. But that's all I got from Alcorn because I didn't see them live. I heard them live, but I didn't see them live. All right. All right. Let's talk about. Do we have any more other bands before NCAT? Because I want to be able to have this conversation about NCAT.
No, Portia, did you say everything you need to say?
This is about to be funny as hell. I know. Oh my God, I'm laughing already on the inside. Like I am.
I don't have anything to say because Quan pointed out my points. If you're going to start with them in the middle, it should have been awesome. But then for them to go stand at the back for the rest of it just rubbed me the wrong way. I just didn't understand that. I'm not used to that. So, but I just, y'all, ease into this A&T conversation because I just got home and I want to be on camera.
I know. That's why I was going to say, see, Portia just pulled up. So she want to go get right. She want to get in her chair. She want to be able to sit and go in. So what I'm gonna do, Portia.
Did y'all talk about Kentucky State show?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already talked. That was the first one.
All right.
You go, bro.
I got a question.
What? Huh? Go ahead.
Me?
No, what were you saying?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mimi.
Yes.
Okay, because it was a bunch of people talking. So I want to know how did we choose numbers? You know what I'm saying? So like if I can remember correctly, when we do Honda, it's just a random pick. So was it that everybody picked the number, or was it based off of like band size and then they put PV last because it was home team? Like, does anybody know how that lineup was made?
I could take a guess at it. Something like how you just said. Like I know the newer band and nobody don't know for always go first. Like I think NCCU was a couple years ago. Kentucky State this year. Who was last year? Who was first?
Langston.
You know what I'm saying? Like the I didn't say that's popular band, but they kind of know how they do it. I was literally surprised that Southern wasn't last, if you ask me. But we in Texas, so putting PV last kind of makes sense. So yeah.
But they were second to last or third to last?
Yeah, second to last.
But I must say this, Justin. I remember that very first year Southern came when it was one year that Southern wasn't last. Like they was kind of like early in the show when they went back to the stands. Everybody left.
Exactly.
Everybody left like after, and I think that's when I think that was the very first year. I think it was like maybe they went after maybe Talladega or somebody like that, and after that, everybody was like, "All right, we out," because PV for the most part has always went last at the show.
I can tell you them comments, man. Just looking at comments on this show, it's almost like everything we were saying when we was out, people saying, and some stuff I'm just like just odd about. Like a lot of people were saying about who this was. It been the stand stuff. Y'all didn't get the stand yet. We talk about it later, but yeah, you're right.
All right. No, go ahead. No, well, I was gonna say the stand stuff after A&T. Because we can get through the stand stuff pretty quickly.
I just say this, and I guess because you ladies brought it to my attention, when did flags become dancers?
Pause. I don't care what y'all say. Yep. Hey, a lot of people, a lot of reviews and a lot of shows I'm saying starting to like it. Me personally, I starting to appreciate flags, and that's why I love Kentucky State flag because we keep it real. A lot of times flag guys get a stigma. Y'all know what the stigma is. You know what I'm saying? That it's just the ones you just start the big guy. So anytime I see somebody doing something different with flags, it makes me appreciate it more. And I'm watched a couple shows and a couple reviews. People in love with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think every flag team deserves a feature. If you're gonna have them out there,
what's the other stigma?
What you mean?
What's the other stigma of flag girls as well?
They
on the flag line because they ain't make the dance.
Oh yeah, that one. The one they couldn't make the dance line, so they hit that flag.
Let's look at Bethune-Cookman show. Y'all couldn't fit the uniform. Like it's always some big stuff. So like let's stop making it. I guess you kind of right this shit. It's not right, but saying like if you're a flag, you're toward the flag. But why not push the envelope on something? You know what I'm saying? Why not? I think push the envelope is, like
Like going to like
doing some like dancing, putting the flag down and dancing a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the thing about it is, I don't think that, especially for everyone who is newly privy or newly aware of flags and actually like taking the time now to kind of really dig into it and pay attention to it, I don't think that y'all have been given the honor of really witnessing true flag lines, true color lines, true talent of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very biased because it's like, okay, ooh, yeah, okay, a little flag, okay, they're gonna break it down, do a little, okay, it makes sense because you're going off of the cusp of this is what I am already aware of because it reminds me of the major or it reminds me of the dance line thing, so it's familiar to me. But when you actually put color on the field, when you actually put flags on the field, they're for a particular reason. The structure of it all, the precision of it all, and I don't really think that has been, or as definitely not in the SWAC. Now I can't really talk about the MEAC. Golden Light has definitely hit on it, but I don't think that as a Black culture we've been truly privy to color guard and all of its all of its greatness just yet. Right, so it just seems right to say like, okay, like yeah, okay, they're dancing a little bit. I kind of like this. I can get into it because it's a slow build, right? So just like the little weed that run across the street in the desert, it's still tumbleweed. It's still small, but when it actually gets to where it's supposed to be, I think that it will definitely look a little bit different, and we should have a different type of
appreciation
for sure.
I guess I've seen what you mean by like you add a lot of color to it. Like even watching some DCI shows, or just watching like a lot of bands that like had when like, for example, Incast show, like it was a bit much.
Wait, let's not get in the Incast show yet.
Let me do one point in it. Like the last part when the boy played the Tiffany's, how they had the all white on and how they went back there and it was, I guess it was like Angels or something like that. It brought the show to life. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but I also feel like there's nothing wrong with pushing the issue and doing something different with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys, I can go. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes flags, like y'all see that they just bull crap because to that point, some flags are not good because they're not getting good teaching. You know what I'm saying? Technically, right?
Yeah.
So why not let them do something that they like and be different to what they know how to do? Because most times a flag got to get put on a flag because she couldn't make a dance team, but she still won't be a part. You know what I'm saying? Or some teams, they have the little hoop and they had a flag. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just feel like when they getting shine, give them shine. And I like pushing the envelope all the time, but I don't feel the same.
I disagree. That can't be the standard. You wouldn't have a college band program without somebody to teach the wins. If you have them in your program, your job as a director is to meet their needs, period.
Yeah.
So if they like doing it, no, that can't be the standard. The standard is this a college level band. So it should be college level at every facet of the program. That's just my perspective. So, as somebody who does this, there is no section of the Legion that I'm okay with being lackluster.
I guess I'm speaking of flags overall. I mean, like a girl to get put on flag because she didn't make a dance. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Then you need to either adjust and really want to be here and give it 100%, or you K your ass. Like we're not second rate to anybody.
Period.
Yeah, and I think
hey, before, I know we are in this conversation and we are super in this conversation, and I don't want it to stop, but I have to stop it for one quick second. First of all, let me just say this. I had flags when I was in high school. They did a really good job, but I didn't appreciate flags until Norfolk State. All right, here we go. So I have to stop it for 1 second because I have one of the coolest, sweetest, most awesomest people right here. Where you at? Mike, Mr. Scarfinger himself, I need you to come on to the congregation because she is here in all of her glory. Miss TT on the mic. I call her Jill Scott. Tierra, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Bust the place.
I was gonna call her. I was gonna hit her up. This is my baby. This is my heart. I told y'all back when she was in school. That first performance she had, I loved up on her forever. So I told you I was going to bring her in here. All right. So we, first of all, as a panel, want to give you your flowers because we definitely believe that you are one of the best to do it right now in HBCU band culture. You are super dope. So I just wanted to bring you on here first of all to make sure we said that. All right. So
thank you.
So yes.
Baby, you in your bag, baby. You in your bag, baby. You done hit your stride, girlfriend. You done hit your stride, girlfriend. Listen. It's right.
Thank you.
Chunky Five. Listen.
Ooh, yes, ma'am. I'm part of Chunky Five. Y'all don't know that.
Oh my goodness. I feel like a family reunion. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, you kind of had one this weekend too, so yes. All right.
Luke called me off the couch, child.
I told you. I told you. Hey, I need you to come in here real quick. All right.
Come on, I'm in the room. What's up? How y'all doing, family?
So the other reason why I brought you on here was because in our comment section there was a young man who said he was willing to shoot his shot. And so look, yeah, see,
He said, "I like you and I want you."
And I want
guess what else he said? He said his name is Mike, so you ain't got to change nothing.
Look, here it is right here. Boom. Yeah, look, hey, I hold true to my word, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure.
I'm over here like Scarface, don't you be no bit. Where you at?
We got one question. We only got one question. What you gonna do?
There you go. There you go.
I'm throwing counts at the wedding, friend.
Yes, absolutely. She is shot.
Married off already. You're married already.
Look, Mike, look, he quiet now. We
quiet. Well, yeah,
it's an offline situation, but
so, hey, Jill Scott. See this? I gotta call you. I gotta call you what I call you. I don't call you no TT. But let me ask you this question while we do have you on here. What is it? What has this process of being basically the only female announcer in HBCU swag band or just HBCU culture period? What has that process been like since you started this journey till now, especially this past weekend? She wasn't ready for no interviews.
I feel like I crabbed twice or 3 times. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not an easy walk, but it is my ministry.
I know that's right.
And that's why I always take a moment. And I always ask, ever since Atlanta 2020 Honda, I remember someone came to me at that final practice and was like, "You're the only girl here. I just wanted you to know that." And it's bittersweet because I admire Grambling and how they have a female head band director and the first female drum major. Even at Prairie View, when we definitely represent with having women in leadership, there was a time where I remember hearing, "Ain't no females in the band. Ain't no female. I would never listen to a female section leader." And it's just like, but you're going to hear me though. You're going to hear me. You're going to feel me. And not because I even want to be put in a situation where you have to hear me, but because God put me in that situation where you have to hear me because I have to hear him. I'm called by him. And so I am an acquired taste. I'm not a strange fruit, but I'm an acquired taste. And I know that I am not for everybody. And
put that on a shirt.
I'm at peace with that now. I used to struggle with that. And it was not always easy. I was just talking to my best friend about it last night. It took years for me to learn to be okay with the boos as well as the applauses. I don't hear either, honestly, but I definitely I'm at peace anyway, because there's always somebody who was meant to hear something I said that resonated with their spirit, which is the reason why they got inspired to go to college, whether it's PV or Grambling or Southern. I have so many babies that went to my alma mater back in Lancaster who are at Grambling and who are like, "TT, you know, every time I see you, man, you get me so hyped. Cause I remember when we started, it it puts so much into perspective for me. God had his hands on me. You know what I mean? There was a time where I dreamt of coming to Prairie View and just marching. I was 10 years old when I first heard Sequence and didn't even see the band. I just heard the cadence and followed my heart till I found it. And at 15, maybe younger, my mom said I was younger, but when they took me to the Battle of the Bands, that's when I saw the Storm for the first time. I told her I was going to do that. So then to go through everything that I went through and come to Prairie View and just have the honor and the privilege to just be a part of the Storm and play my little trumpet, my little dirty third, be my little Jill Scott self. And then all of that other stuff happened and becoming the announcer, it is truly a testament to how grand God is for me. I always say I serve a grand God. He does grand things. He cannot be contained. And because I serve a God that cannot be contained, neither can I. And I am in a culture sometimes where people try to contain me. They try to keep me back in Marching Storm circa 1991 to 1995. And I don't respond, but I see everything because I admire everything. I respect everything. I respect the craft. I respect the legacy. But becoming like one of the only female announcers in HBCU culture, period, whether it's SWAC, MEAC, or what have you, I've only met 2 other women female announcers ever. It's hard because I want so much more for us. Not just because we're women, but because if you have that power and that voice that can literally eat up a room and light it up and make it just disappear, if you can disseminate energy just off of your own, you need to put that somewhere where it can be amplified. And whether people understand why I am the way I am, I don't care, because I do it for myself. I do it for my soul. I do it for those who ain't got a voice no more, who can't talk anymore, for the angels that came before me. And I do it for the Storm because we bond. We have that feeling, and it just feels so good to be there. And I hope there's a little girl, a little 14-year-old girl sitting up in the nosebleeds like I was, looking to her mom or dad saying, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Because they reach out. They DM. They do. Like, the influence is real. It's not about I want to shine. Shining is just 1% of all of this. Like, if anybody knows the real grind behind, and I'm sure all of y'all do. All of y'all know that the notoriety is maybe 1%. You shine and you go right back into the lab and you grind all over again and you get dirty and you get ugly and the blood, sweat, and tears come all over again. Like, people don't even know. While the band's last band practice might be at like 9:30, 10, or whenever we're done on a band tour, on a band trip, mine ends around 4:35 in the morning with a water bottle as a microphone in my hotel room until I feel like in my soul I got it. Until I feel like I got it, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. You can't tell me. And I'll be in there, okay, no, you said it too many times. And I just sit with myself. And I feel like Dr. Zachary and you and Brown and so many more of y'all have no idea, like, what y'all have instilled in me and the beast y'all have created. Because I used to care about, oh my God, I hope these comments don't be negative this week.
I used to tell you, don't worry about
them. You remember the first time in El Paso, I freezed at practice.
Yeah.
I literally stopped talking.
I remember.
I was afraid. That was the first time Dr. Zachary was like, I'm going to try you out. And I was just like, I just wanted to go to El Paso to see what it was like.
I remember because we had went through like this season of like 3 or 4 different guys, and it just didn't work out. And then we brought you in, and I remember that. And I remember I pulled you aside. I was like, "Yo, you all right? Just be you. Just relax. Don't trip." Yeah. And then when we got in El Paso, I pulled you aside again. Like, you got this. Just do this, and you'll be okay. And then I think if I'm not mistaken, that same day they were like, "Well, shoot, we're just gonna get you announced for the whole daggone show." Then
they came to our bus and asked me to host the actual whole battle of the bands. So I didn't just announce for our band, but I announced for the entire event.
Yep.
alongside
It makes room for
Smiley
you.
and the young lady, and that was Mississippi Valley's announcer. She was female, and it was me, her, and them, and then they went back down, and it was like, okay, well, we just gonna let you do it, and I was just like, are y'all sure? But I think for me it's like people believe in me, so I have to. That's the thing. Like you can't doubt yourself. You can't keep doubting yourself because somebody looks to you for confidence. Somebody looks to you for assurance. Maybe, and y'all have no ideas. Like when I'm standing on that sideline, right before I call off that PV, right before I start talking, the drum majors and I are sharing last words. We're calming each other. I'm making eye contact. Kevin, God rest his soul, used to be one of the people that I always looked to right before I started talking. You know what I mean? And no one knows that because all they see is she's pacing back and forth. What is she doing? What is she saying? I'm praying. I'm setting the atmosphere, and I no longer see y'all. I can't see y'all. I can't hear y'all. I've transformed. And people think, oh, well, she just be doing too much. And it's like, I ain't even started yet. I haven't even started yet. And I think the hardest part is that some people who don't get it, don't want to get it, don't realize that I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for y'all because there's a moment where people like me didn't exist. And I get it. I'm going to make you uncomfortable because not only am I a woman, but then I come in with a different style of announcing. I'm incorporating the show in the show. I'm incorporating myself in the show and bringing the crowd into the show. And you used to, ladies and gentlemen, the band. And it's like, that's okay. Because that's what works for you. That's your style. But I'm incomparable. And until you learn that, you're never going to like me. And I'm okay with that. Because you do not sign my checks. Yes.
Listen.
That's where I am with it.
Will there be one? Will there be?
Put that on a shirt. You do not sign my checks. I'm gonna have to start using that. What you say?
That's a Dr. Zachary quote.
It'll be in the store.
Last time he had to curse me out about being scared.
Will there be one?
It'll be in the store very soon.
Me and Justin gonna be deacons at the door. Will there be one?
No, I'm sorry.
Now open.
With your gloves on, white gloves on.
Y'all,
Jill, I love you. I will tell you that a million times. And whenever I see you get big hugs from me, I will always.
You always make me cry.
Yeah, I don't know how I do that, but I'm glad I have that effect on you. That I guess that means I've done something in your life that has really touched you, and I'm proud of it, and I thank God for it. But you are so awesome. You keep doing your thing. There's no amount of words I can say that just say how awesome you are. Quan went and got his but no, I just wanted to bring you on because we were going through the different shows and we were talking about you, and I said, look at here, I will bring her in here and I will let her speak for herself. And then Scarfinger was trying to shoot a shot, but I guess his gun didn't fire anymore.
He chickened out.
He ain't said not a word.
He ran out of bullets.
Yeah, he was shooting his shot. If you go back and watch the show or go to the YouTube and watch the show and scroll through, you're gonna find his comments. But he ain't said nothing ever since.
It's sliding the DM.
Right. But it's all good because what you have done is came on and blessed this here panel, and I appreciate you.
TT, I can't hear you.
Oh, your mic has went on. No, we can't hear you.
No, we still can't hear you. Mm-mm.
No, we can't hear you. No. Okay. But
well,
no.
When she comes back in, can you let her back in? Because I got just a couple things I just want to say.
All right. We will, but we got to keep moving though. We got to keep the show going. When she comes back in, we'll let her finish up and do your thing. A&T. Let's talk A&T really quick on the field. before
Let's talk
Chuck,
about them.
I'm about to say, Chuck, before you say anything, let me just get mine out. And then after that, I'm gonna let Portia and Maya and Chuck go ahead and battle each other out for who's the best. All right. So let me just say this about A&T, an A&T show. I said this Saturday night. I 100% appreciated A&T show. As a person who cares about drill concepts being different, some people will say that A&T did way too much, and that's fine. That's okay. I appreciate the fact that they made the steps to be different. And on top of all of that, whether you thought the show was boring, whether you thought the show was great or whatever, I appreciate the fact that they did something and stepped out of the box and tried to be different, whether you liked it or not. That's all I'm gonna say. I appreciated that. I appreciated the props. I appreciated them trying to go along with some type of theme. I know the theme was kind of, in different places, but I still appreciated the differences in the way that they tried to do something different and not a step two drill the whole time. So that's my take. TT is down there. Let me bring her in real quick because I know Maya, you had a question.
I had no question. I just want to.
I thought you had a question.
No, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to tell you, TT, I'm so thankful for you. I'm honestly thankful for you because when you think about the amount of people who are able to live in their purpose, it's few and far between. It's not many people that walk on this earth that are actually living, breathing testaments of who they are, who they're supposed to be, and what God has for them. And that's exactly you. To this day, I aspire. It's always been something about you that has always been different, bar none. But to this day, you bring a breath of fresh air to my life. You bring a sense of peace. You bring a sense of you can do it. Seriously, when you talk about the epitome of passion, the epitome of humility, the epitome of, and I want to say at this point, confidence doesn't even match what you are. You're one of them ones, right? So I have a strong feeling that you only need a handful of people in your life that will do something for you. And truly, you are one of those ones. You're true. When I say you hit your stride, not even in the cadence or just your performance aspect, you just hit your stride and where you're supposed to be and the effect that you're supposed to have on the people in your life, the people that don't know you from Tim, Bob, and Jordan, and everything around it. And I'm just so thankful. I'm so grateful for you. And I just cannot wait to see what happens. Child, if I could call the people that have the star in LA and put you on the star on the Hollywood Boulevard, baby, you'd have one because you need it. You need it. We need to put you on a TV, and I want to give you your flowers while you're here because, wow, just a person, a woman, a voice.
I mean, y'all gonna have her girl.
Y'all make me want to cry.
Look at that. Yeah, see?
It's perfect. You make me want to cry because, wow, like, when you want to talk about getting speechless, yeah. Put TT in front of you. Wow, you're amazing. You're amazing, and I love this for you. And I hope that you get everything that you want, need, and have ever wanted out of this.
And let me say this, and then we got to move on because we got a lot more to go on the show. But my wife said she loves you, TT. Let me say that. She said she loves you. And then also we got to move on to the next topic. But if you want to hang around, you are more than welcome to do so. I'm not gonna kick you off. I just won't do that. I know that because I know that if you do hang around, I know you do have some obligations to the storm. So I know that there are some things that you cannot say, and that is okay. And if you can't say it, just sit there with your arms crossed, and you'll be all right. You said you can't hear. I don't know why your sound is going in and out.
That just means if you missed her anointment, you missed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's a time and a place.
Yeah, I guess so. Let me see. All right, so let's move on to A&T. I know this is the portion of the show that we have been waiting on. So here we go. A&T. Chuck, Portia, love you too, TT. Chuck, Portia, and Maya, because Portia said that she wanted to have a nice conversation with you, sir.
Ladies first.
So here we go. Matter of fact, let me do it like this. Oops, my bad.
What? Now, why would you do? That's messy.
No,
That's
he did.
Wow.
This is so messy. This is so messy.
It is.
Said it.
Hey, Chuck.
So what you said?
What up? What up?
So we went down here was A&T.
It's your mic. It's Chuck's mic. That's what it is.
My mic. What do you mean? Okay, hold on.
It keeps giving some. Yeah.
What you said was that A&T was gone.
Good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the field. You sticking with that?
Repeat what you just said.
Before we left in the show before this, you said A&T was going to own the field. Are you sticking with that?
I'm sticking with that because I'm actually reviewing and looking at the show right now on mute. And I see so many things that are visually stimulating while everybody else is still doing basic stuff. Like, I'm not even listening to the music again, and I see 2 or 3 flag changes. I see props that go along with each element of the show. I see the title of the show fitting the music and fitting those props, and outfit changes, as well as seeing, a percussion feature with the band accompanying the percussion section, which the percussion section always accompanies the band. And so I see a lot of
Norfolk State did it last year. We did that
right.
last year.
We've been doing it since 2009.
No. We did it on this stage last year. We've been doing it for a while too, but I won't.
Right. I mean, but we were the first to do that in HBCU land.
Okay.
We can check the facts.
We can debate that later.
Right.
So what I'm gonna say is, in my personal opinion, it was different, but it was a lot going on. And at the end, when it was I don't know the proper name for those, where it looks like the butterfly wings, the streamers and the flags together. It was a little bit much for me. Or if all 3 of them was going to be back there, they should have coordinated the movements or something. I don't know. It was visually overstimulating for me. And I like a lot going on. But it was, I think the ladies that went out there with the little butterfly wings would have been awesome at the end for the church scene. I think it was, with so much going on, you didn't know who to focus on at the end, at least for me. I'm giving my personal opinion. This has no reflection on Norfolk State University or the Spartan Margaret. This is LaPortia's opinion, okay? This is my opinion. It was a little bit too much. It was a lot. It was in we had 20 flags at Honda, but when they opened up, and I don't know how many girls was out there with all them flags, I was like, oh my sweet baby Jesus.
Right. I can honestly say that I can see how it can be a lot. And it makes me, again, I won't tell the story, but I just remember going to like a percussion recital years ago, and a percussionist did something, and the audience didn't know where to clap or whatever because it was just over the top. And I remember telling the percussionist, which he's actually the percussion instructor at A&T, he was giving a faculty recital, and I was like, you did something. It was like the audience saw an alien. They didn't know how to react. You did something so far ahead. And not saying that A&T did something so far ahead or whatever, but they have a lot going on in their show, and if you're not used to kind of seeing all elements go in there, it can be overstimulating. Just like we were talking about Grambling moving, the band moving while the dancers are going, that can be over because you don't know which one to focus on. And so I get it. It's definitely a lot of what we call drum and bugle corps, S things going on. And it can be a lot. Even going to the championship that was here in Atlanta, there were some moments like, I think Carolina Crown took this metal wheel thing and put it on the field, and then everybody had to duck underneath it. I loved it, but I can see how it can be a lot. It can be a lot to, like, you don't know what to focus on. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's an acquired taste.
And
it's
I'm
an acquired
used to
taste.
seeing A&T, but that was a little bit much for A&T.
Right. And I think what happens is that, like, and this is just me speaking, with the show planning committee, got a lot of ideas going on, and sometimes it hits, and other times it could be over the top, and so I get it. Me personally, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I really try to not be biased, but I'm like, man, like, I'm really seeing them push the envelope outside of what our typical HBCUs do, in a lot of different areas. And so that, and kind of knowing the history and what Dr. Ruff wants to see out of the band program, this is what he talked about in 2003, and it's kind of coming to fruition. So, I'm sure we're going to see some other bands attempt to try to do some of these things as well, too, because I think it's visually stimulating for everybody, not just the.
Well, I think it cut out, but I'm going ahead and get in while I have a chance.
Go ahead.
So I feel you. Chuck. I feel you. I feel you wholeheartedly. Now, I apologize. We might have to cut this out, but just okay. I'm gonna give you my truest, right? So when we were sitting there watching the show, I did say, "Oh, this is like nigga-ized DCI." Those are literally my words. I apologize.
That's exactly what my sister said. And I said, well, damn, you can hit the nail right on the head.
I said, this is nigga-ized DCI. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but I said, okay, I get it. I get the concept. When we opened up with the fanfare, we opened up with the opening song and the usage of the flags in the actual drill. Love it. I think that a lot more schools should do the same thing. I absolutely love it. I'm going to be honest with you. The color of the flag, I didn't love it, but like the flag selections, except for the very, very end, were not my favorite. But that's fine. Maybe one, instead of a 10 or 9, fine. I love how they integrated and utilized. It was actually a bandsman show. It was a band. It wasn't band and flags, bland and girls. It was a band. So I love that. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I say I ain't never done hard drugs before, but I felt like I was on Molly. Like I felt like I was like, ooh. Like when I talk about overstimulation from top to bottom, I'm just being honest. I was like, damn, like, okay, got this. Damn, she done went and changed clothes. Damn, he flipping over here. Damn, he doing all this. Like it was just, I felt like I was on crack, to be honest with you.
Wow.
To be honest, now it's 50 people in Cold Steel. I said, goddamn, it's 50 people in Cold Steel. So you had 3 blocks of 50, as far as I'm concerned. What I call the P side and the U side in Cold Steel. So that was a lot. It was just honestly a lot. Now I get it. They're definitely pushing the envelope when it comes to what we talk about week over week. Field shows, especially the HBCU field shows, or our culture of field shows kind of looking the same. We already know what's going to happen. It's going to be a fight song at the beginning. We're going to go into block band. We may do a ballad, go to the features, dance routine off the field, or whatever compilation that looks like. So I definitely appreciate them pushing the issue. But it was a bit much. I felt like I had heart palpitations by the end of it. I was just like, my word, this is so much. And the concept of the show for me, did not flow from top to bottom. I feel like we had 5 different concepts in one show. They were all great ideas, but it was just so much. And so again, while I'm on crack, my eyes are unstable, and I'm trying to get the gist of which concept are we on. We had the little boxes flipping in the back. The third person, baby, he could not get it together.
Turn it down.
The wrong box. He kept putting the wrong one. He was about an 8 count late on all of them. I said, Lord Jesus, help us. What we gonna do?
It was the Hessalon chest for me. That took me all the way. I said,
but do you get why that was out there?
No. To help, I assume that it's to help facilitate the theme and to help bring it home and bring it together.
Now, bad hair. I caught that part. You know what I'm saying?
Golden Light.
Right, but it was the weekend show. And what do you do on the weekend sometimes?
No.
You go get your hair done.
Okay, fine.
They went into the city. Bright Lights, bigger city.
I didn't get that.
They went to church.
But okay.
Go to church on the weekend. Like all of that stuff matches.
Do you realize that you're explaining some of this to us, which means we didn't understand it while we was watching it? Because Bright Lights in big city, I didn't even know that was part of it. Was that the Cold Steel part?
Right. They have a drum show. So Cold Steel's got their own, advertising.
All right. Let me say my piece now. Let me say my piece.
So before you say your piece, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and get it out, Quan, because I don't want y'all to stop the energy of this conversation. The only thing that I'm gonna say is Chuck is really, and you may be right, Maya. It may just be, I don't know what you said, but the DCI, whatever. But because just watching the show concept, I mean, it's a very programmatic show in that regard. If it's the weekend and the show is evolving through the weekend, I mean, it's a programmatic show. In most cases, we're not used to doing that. We're not even used to seeing that.
Fair.
So for many, it becomes difficult to watch or even understand because we're used to seeing the normal crap, the come down drill.
I didn't even know that the theme of the show was the weekend.
When you say weekend, I'm thinking of the artist.
It says it on the bottom. It says living for the weekend.
Baby, I wear no line bifocals. I get
it. It might be hard to see.
I don't know what that says.
Where did it say it on the bottom?
I'm looking at 2 signs right now that says for the weekend.
But my thought is, if I have to think about it too much, it's not landing. If I have to sit and think now, what are they trying to tell me? What are they trying to tell me? It's not landing.
I get it.
All right, Quan, go ahead and say what you got to say, bro.
All right, so this is the percussion perspective.
Oh, Lord.
So first of all, Cold Steel was not the first.
No, I'm not saying the first. Definitely Box is the first with percussion features.
Cool. But y'all gonna respect the Box, bro. I'm just saying. So that's number one.
Right.
Number two, I'm gonna say this, and they were not the first to play with songs either, because we did that too. But one thing that is like, I get what you're trying to do, but the way that because Cold Steel is some great players, the band playing, you can't even appreciate what they're playing because you can't hear it. Like, and it's like, that's the thing about DCI. They have like specific snare breaks where it's like from a percussion perspective, you be like, dog, did you hear what they just played? Because me and my crab brother JK was sitting next to each other, and like we was ear hustling to try to hear what they were playing. And then like when the band had a break of silence, we was like, boy, did you hear that? And it was like, yeah, like, did you hear that? You know what I'm saying? That snare break. We want to enjoy the show. And I think the only thing for me is, was it a lot? Yes. Is that something that we're not accustomed to? In the South, for sure? No. But so much was going on to where you couldn't even enjoy it. So it was kind of like a Thanksgiving dinner, and your grandmother was like, you better get that dressing, you better get that mac and cheese, you better get them yams, you better get that gumbo, you better get that potato salad, you better get that sweet potato bread, or you better get that pumpkin pie. And it was like, but Momo, and you can't tell your grandmother no, so she just put it on your plate and you be like, damn, like, well, I start first. And I think that's overall what it was. Do I think it was a bad show? No, but I think aesthetically so much was going on to where you couldn't really enjoy everything. Like, I, as a percussionist, I couldn't enjoy Cold Steel. From an auxiliary perspective, I did appreciate the wardrobe change. And then because they did it so seamlessly to where other stuff was going on to where we didn't even know the ladies got off the field. You feel what I'm saying? So, but my thing is, I just appreciate what Golden Delight, right? What Golden Delight does, where they're the dancers, but they're also the flag girls. But then we can see they can also be praise dancers. Like we see that that's the most versatile dance group, honestly, possibly around. But I think so much was going on to where certain things weren't palatable to truly enjoy overall. Again, do I think it was a bad show? No. Do I think what Dr. Lamar Lawhorn, I call him Crunchy, is doing for the percussion aspect is outstanding. Did they sound good? Yeah. But a lot was going on to where it was like, damn, like I can't enjoy, you have to literally, so many facets of that show and things were happening. You got to go watch that show again. And you be like, damn, I missed that. Damn, I didn't know I missed that. So a lot was going on. But good show. And it was different from everybody else show, in my opinion, in this way. For sure.
So I'm looking at, I'm scrubbing through the show as you guys are talking. Only thing I'm gonna say is that Living for the Weekend is so small as hell, I wouldn't have been able to catch that.
Right.
It's on a speaker, just sitting on two sides, like we wouldn't have catch that. But other than that, no, I once again I will say I just appreciated them, stepping out of the box and trying to be different. But that's just me. So Maya and Portia, we good? Y'all done ganging?
I didn't hate it. I just was overstimulated, and
y'all saw Chuck took out the hat. He had to swoop his baby hair over. He was like, "Look,
no."
Yeah, you did feel like you were gonna miss something during the show. I didn't know what to watch, and then I just like cohesiveness and what everybody's doing. When they were all back there together, I just would have coordinated those movements a little better. I didn't hate it, but it was given a lot.
No, for sure, I agree, and no hate at all. Like I come from auxiliary, right? So sure, marching at PV, I just dance. But coming from Townview, sabers, batons, flags, rifles, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. It was just so much. We couldn't appreciate what they were doing because it was moving so fast and there was so much. Mm-hmm. And I think that at this point in time, just like I said, when we talked about it last week, I said they damn near got to be levitating for me to feel like, damn, like, okay, now what they gonna do next, right? So I feel like they had to push their narrative of what they've been doing and taking it to the next level. But I just think that they, like you said, they had so many ideas. It was just all batched in one, and it could be kind of panned out across two different shows or just slowed down a little bit. But I just feel like we was on 10 the whole time. But again, they're definitely in a lane of their own. We, like, bar none, they're definitely and have been in a lane of their own for a while now. And that's the first and foremost thing that I can appreciate and I love about them. So creativity is out the door. It was just like, woo, did I pop them out? I'm sweating shit. They like, Lord.
Oh, but I got to tip out a little bit. But shout out to Gary Bryant. I don't know if he designed that show, but I'm pretty sure he did. But
I agree.
Like I know I saw him backstage as I was walking to the field, but like we have to give him his roses too, because he's revolutionizing drills from an HBCU perspective. Again, if we just look at it, I don't know what conference Kentucky State is in, but my thing is this: he's designing shows that is different from the normal status quo of HBCUs, and we got to give that brother his props too, because, bro, leave step 2 drills to Southern, because they've mastered it. Everybody else, we need to figure out honestly how we gonna evolve and improve HBCU marching band pageantry. It's already done. It's already done.
You coming back in, or are you out?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back in on the phone.
All right, cool. All right, let's move it on. Man, we spent a long time on field shows. All right, so it's been a while since I did this, so let me go ahead and do it. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like that. Let's get this YouTube algorithm moving. Let's get these likes up. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the subscribe to the Passionate Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Real Talk That Talk or Apple Podcasts. Type in Talk That Talk. All right, really, really quick. Let's see if we can get through this. Because I do actually have one more topic before the show ends tonight. So let's see if we can get through this. How fast we'll get through this. Stands. Let's do it this way. What did you feel about the stand battle? Who was best? You know, who do you feel could have been better? Blah, 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 blah. We'll go around the room. Portia, we'll start with you. Why all the girls give me that look when I call them first? What is this? What did I do?
I don't know. I was sitting here trying to think. I can't go Southern because from where we were sitting, I don't know what none of them songs was. It was just loud.
Portia, I think you just touched on something.
What? Not being able to identify songs?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm hearing more accompaniment than melody in a lot of arrangements.
Yeah.
But, it's that song. Really? Oh,
No,
you figured it out after.
That was part of my comment too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. You know the rhythm, you know the bass line, maybe some of the chords, but ain't no melody in there.
What's the question?
How you feel?
I disagree with that a lot.
I go.
Go ahead, Maya. I gotta think.
I was gonna say I was gonna re-answer the question, but Maya, if you got it, go ahead.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to say what stand battle, but it was just more so like it was lackluster all across. I mean, so yes, Southern was loud as hell. Fine. I didn't know what they was playing. I kept turning around to Quan and his CB, and I was like, "What is this?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that across the board. I wouldn't even really call it a stand battle. I think we could have honestly done without it. I just figured that it was just fillers for everybody to get on and off the field. Now for the home team, I didn't know what Pee Wee was playing either. And we talked about this weekend. It was lackluster for me in the sense of I think we've gotten to the point and we've seen kind of in the past years when it comes to the book, our timing is wrong. Our timing is off on our song selection, and it doesn't really capture the moment at all times. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. I think that it was a prime opportunity to really stand up, stand out, get ignorant, whatever you want to call it, but to really say like boom, like bow, like here we are, like let's go. Like the way that Sale fell 2014, it came out of nowhere and it just hit and made a statement. This was one of those types of ordeals, right? But I mean, other than that, it was a waste of time, honestly. I don't want to be that blunt, but there was nothing about it that was just like, woo. Southern was loud. Grambling, I don't know what they was playing. Portia said that they captain failed. I didn't even see that part. The Foxes, I don't know. They were sitting down every other count. I'm not sure how we got there. It was just a lot not in the greatest way. So it left more to be desired, and now I'm concerned about the season in terms of the stands based off of only purely what I saw.
And Justin, you may have a different perspective because you were on the field.
Yeah, mind you, we were up top. So what
I'm gonna tell you, and this is why I didn't want when I found out they was gonna flip it and we figured out that the bands were gonna be in the end zones, you have to think that the fans heard what we heard. You know what I'm saying? They recognized who was loud and who was not, but I can't tell you none of them songs. None. That's why I can't really vote, because I can't tell you any of the songs because the sound was not coming our way.
And I don't think it's because we old. I think it's just they were unrecognizable.
Yeah, and the sound wasn't coming our way. It was going like this past us. Yeah. And we were up top, so that probably didn't make it any worse. Any better. So last year, everybody played towards the crowd. So I probably would have had a better opinion. But with them being in the end zones, I don't know. I can't vote for on this because based on what I heard, I don't even know what songs they were. So, yeah.
Okay. Justin, Stan's battle, and then I'll give my thoughts because I was down there with you.
I think a few things. One, everything Portia just said, we knew that was going to come because it was in the end zone. So I think, y'all not knowing what it was, that's pretty much, what it was. I also think a lot of people who say that, you know what I'm saying, not saying that's what y'all saying. Like if it was an NBA YoungBoy song, you wouldn't know what it is anyway. So somebody gonna call it noise. If it was something that's not on the radio, they're gonna call it noise. But I didn't like the battle in itself. So for example, like when PV first song they played, I think they battled Bethune. They played one song. Bethune played a song. And then PV played another song, but then that was the end of that battle. That was how can I get a 3-song battle? I didn't like the setup, but overall, band sounded great. So I mean, I didn't find a band that didn't sound good in the stands. Maybe the song selection, I do agree with Maya said on that PV. Like the first song, I'm like, what? Why I play this? And then the second song, you come and yam now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what made the stand battle not appealing to the people. Because for us down there, it was all gravy. You know what I'm saying? So. That's just that with that, but the Kings were cool, you know what I'm saying? And Alcorn, they shocked a lot of people. I was surprised at Grambling. I ain't gonna lie, Grambling, they had that knocker, but everybody sound good in the stands. And we talk about how sound, but if you want the top 3, that's my top 3 of the stands of what they played. But it's so sad that the people at the top couldn't get the experience. That's why how I posted my videos, I didn't even post like Southern versus Bethune. I just posted the individual songs they played so people can get the appreciation of it with it. That really sucks. That's what I wanted to say overall.
And I don't know how we give that feedback, but I understand they wanted to sell more tickets, but the experience was diminished. I don't know what those bands sounded like. I can go back and listen to your clips, but I paid for a ticket to hear it in person.
Ooh. You sound a lot.
So let me say this. First and foremost, I'm old. Except for Southern's what was it? Ready or Not. Mm-hmm. I didn't know any of them other songs that anybody was playing. Not one other group. But what I will say is this, and because I was down there, I'm gonna go on a different perspective. I'm gonna go on a quality of sound perspective. So Southern loud, bro. Southern is loud. Like Southern is loud. I don't know how many ways I can say Southern is loud other than saying Southern is loud. Yeah, Southern's loud, bro. Sitting in front of them, I was sitting up there with the stank face the whole time, just like, just it was all coming at me at once. Pause. But what I will say, and it's the same thing I say all the time. Southern's gonna be Southern. Southern sounds like Southern. And the problem that I have is the fact that when listening to Alcorn, it just sounds like Alcorn is trying to sound like Southern. When I listen to Grambling, because you're right, Grambling sounds different from the front. I 100%. Now I'm gonna say it was some baritones in there that was struggling. Yeah, that baritone section needs to work. But in the totality of it, it sounds like Grambling is trying to sound like Southern. Yeah. From me being down there in front, when I heard Prairie View, and this is exactly what I told Hop, they just their quality of sound is just different. They don't have this. and this is not a dig, it's more or less just a reality. They don't have this like bright, edgy, brassy sound.
Who?
PV.
Oh,
they just don't have that. Whereas Southern has that sound. Now, I'm not saying it's a terrible sound overall, because what I will define that as is a Southern sound. It's an edgy, it's a bright tone, but I expect that from Southern. It's just like I expect a specific sound from FAM. I expect a specific sound from Bethune. When I listen to PV, I expected a certain sound, and I got that sound. Even when I listen to A&T, and don't get me wrong, I'm not always the biggest fan of A&T, but even they shocked me. I was like, okay, not bad. All right, cool.
The whole night.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't mind giving credit where credit is due. And I'm not even saying Alcorn or Grambling was bad. The only thing that I'm saying is I want to get to a point where people are, and I've said this on many occasions, where people are developing their own sounds and reaching for what they want to sound like versus trying to match what someone else sounds like. That's my only gripe with that whole thing.
Can I jump in, Luke, real quick? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you got it.
So, and this is not a dig to any school as well, but correct me if I'm wrong, but if most schools have a Southern band director and you went to that school because you like that sound, if you like that overall tone, a lot of times you emulate what you like. So it's kind of like, you feel what I'm saying?
I agree and I disagree. I agree and I disagree with that. Quan, you done? Are you still going?
No, yeah, I'm just muting myself.
I don't know what that meant, but I'm just gonna say that's enough. I agree, because okay, I can understand birds of a feather fine. I disagree because when it comes to pedagogy, when it comes to your craftsmanship as a bandsman, as a director, having your own vision, it does not necessarily have to stem from a particular background or be a replica of it. So that's why I disagree with that. I can understand consciously or subconsciously where it may peek through, but I don't necessarily think that. I don't think that every person from Southern, I don't think that it's on their mind. How can I make this new band sound like Southern? Yes, there may be some things just because that's what you're used to, but I think that that's also where I think that's where education comes in. You went to school, you did not study at particular Southern, or you got your doctorate or whatever degrees, and that may be something, another thing, because everybody don't have the degrees and the education and the background and foundation that they may need to be having to be able to have these types of programs. But I do think that there is a difference. I don't think that's necessarily everybody's thing. What I do think is, if we think about like culture, right? So in 2010, people weren't wearing skinny jeans. Men weren't wearing skinny jeans, but in 2022, they are, right? So when you get in that field house, when you get in that fish bowl with that big fish, you don't want to be the little fish that's forgotten about. So all shit go out the window when you looking at big fish in his face and it's blaring in your goddamn face, you know what I'm saying? And it's like sink or swim. We just got to go for what we know. We just got to go loud, like structure, tonality, musicality, all that shit could potentially go out the window because we're like, damn, I'm scratching and surviving. I'm trying to woo and rue, until just to make it through. I think that sometimes, especially if we're not solid in who we are, if we still in transition mode, if we're not in our true era and we haven't solidified our foundation as a band, as a program, it's very easy to snuck and buck and sway when that big fish is looking you in the face. And so a lot of these organizations or a lot of these bands, because I've been in damn band where it happens time and time again.
I got something to say with
Go ahead, Quan, and then just let me just say this real quick, because I don't know how long the service is gonna work, but I say this. So let's look at the facts real quick, sis. Alcorn's band director is from Southern. If Julian's saying that these bands, like emulate Southern or trying to Southern-esque, that's one example. Talladega and their prime, they tried to emulate who? Southern band director. When it came to who's the other band director? Come on, Justin, throw me out another Southern band director that was at another
It's
school.
too many in the lane. Go to PV. Go to it's so many. It's just
Right. So and most of them, when Dr. Miguel Bonds was at Talladega, he was at Delaware State. All of his bands sound the same. And then the other band directors, when they get to them other schools, guess what? They emulate Southern the same thing, even from drills. So I feel what you're saying, but they choose that.
I feel what you're saying too, right? So I don't feel what you're saying in terms of Talladega. I'm gonna be honest, Talladega has always been baby Southern to me, period. I've always just considered them Southern rejects. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If we're gonna get to it, we're just gonna get to it. If we're gonna talk it, let's talk it. That's always what I've thought. Now, we can break it down and it looks whatever, but that's always what I've thought. Now, when it comes to other places, I can understand the influence. I definitely understand the idea of influence because when Alcorn, lined up in that air, what do we say? I said, now we finna step two. Not, you know what I'm saying? So I feel what you're saying. I can agree and I can disagree depending on what it is that we're talking about.
I think
we're gonna get blocked. You better put all.
I think it just come down to. I think it come down to people don't understand.
Wait, hold on. Let Portia say. Let Portia say something. She's been trying to get hers
out. It's a choice, because half our dream team with the Southern, and the Legion don't look or sound like Southern. It's a choice.
But see, that's what I was gonna say, something to that same degree. I don't think it's a choice. I think it's an old head, new head thing. Because the reason why I say that is because I look at Dr. Zachary, I look at Paul Adams, I look at Dr. Sanford, I even look at what's his name at Westbury, Mr. Washington. Can't think of his first name right now, but
Reginald.
His band doesn't sound like Southern. Westbury has never sounded like Southern. I just think it's an old head versus a new head kind of thing, because a lot of these newer band directors, guys, my age and younger, they're the ones who are more or less moving towards that Southern-esque sound.
I'm sure Bonds older than you.
Say it again.
I said I'm sure Bonds older than you.
Brian,
Miguel Bonds.
Oh, Bonds. Yeah, I'm not saying it's all 100%, but I'm just saying in mass, most of the older band directors.
A school like Norfolk, I don't even think you could pull it off if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? You'll get fired. You know what I'm saying? Or the alumni will raise hell if you trying to change this sound, a band director to come from something. Like, that wouldn't be allowed. What people don't accept nowadays, and we talk about it all the time, I like using Grambling for example. And I talk to the Grambling band, a lot of band directors. Some people's style of which I'll be asking them to stick to is the reason why they suck. Because their style is still outdated, or it's not, they don't know how to revamp their style and keep it hot. A lot of schools can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people trying to sound like Southern because that's what's working, and maybe they think that that's the route they should go. A lot of people don't know how to add flavor to what they got and make it keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we like, say Grambling, for example, I don't care how much you call Grambling boring or you call them this, that, and third, they're gonna do Grambling. They'll give you the dancing with the instruments, but it's them. And then maybe they add a rap tune or a new style, but a lot of people know how to revamp themselves and stay highly relevant. So what you expect them to do then to run like Mike said, you fighting with the big fish and you trying to stay afloat. A lot of people's styles and traditions will keep them back. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think it's all the time. Southern get the bad tag of just overblowing and being loud because that's their style, but a lot of bands louder than Southern, a lot of bands overblow. Didn't get the negative stuff that Southern gets. So why we give it to Southern? Because they're the ones who know how to do it their way and they know how to just do it right. You know what I'm saying? I just think a lot of people's style just be boring and they don't know how to revamp them. And they just get the tag of trying to do what Southern do because Southern would be considered the hottest in the moment. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just how I look at it.
So, one, let me make sure I say this, because the conversation started from what I said about the stands. When it comes to Southern, I expect for Southern to be Southern. Okay, so I just want to make sure I put that out there. I don't expect for Southern to be anything but Southern. I expect them to sound like Southern, and I expect them to do Southern. But when it comes to what you were saying and kind of what Maya was saying, that whole, if you feel like you're sinking and blah 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 blah, I earnestly disagree with that. The only reason why I say that is because I've been in that process. You know what I'm saying? I was at PV when the band could fit in the band room, the whole band. Like literally, we talked about this past weekend. I had to show Portia the picture because she ain't believe it. The whole band could fit in the band room. One thing we did not do is change our style to try to fit this quote unquote Southern-esque style. We just didn't do that. We just didn't. Now, did we do things differently? Did we add some things? Absolutely. I'm not
y'all being creative.
Well, yeah, but the whole conversation is about being, or pretending or acting to or like Southern. What I'm saying is that is the only area in where I agree with you at, to where there may be a lack of creativity, but I don't think that the idea or the next thing is to sound like Southern.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say people don't know how a lot of traditions that school have. Okay, in a new generation, you know what I'm saying? Like I like school like Norfolk, somebody who never gonna change their style. They do what they do and they stay how they stay. But for the most part, a lot of people might fall victim to, I guess, being how Southern do because their styles of what their school have been doing for so long, it just whack and it just don't work no more. You know what I'm saying? So if cranking and overblowing is hot and it's getting all the kids there, you know what I'm saying? Jackson get accused of it all the time. They just doing like Southern do, but Jackson numbers always up. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but if Jackson stayed Jackson, they still would have had their numbers up.
Exactly. True. Right. But that's just an example of saying what Jackson do. A lot of people just don't know how to be creative and make it good. Do you think that bandwagoners that go to these schools from Southern, I'm sure in the back of their head they say, I want to do anything but Southern. I'm sure they do. Like Brown right now. I think he's doing a great job at keeping taking Southern tradition. You know what I'm saying? He's changing some things and making his own way, but people still gonna accuse them of being and sounding like Southern, right?
But a lot of that still has to do with exposure too, man. What, and this is no slight to Brian, because I really do think he's doing a great job at Texas Southern. But I will say, with people like that, like a guy who graduates or a kid who graduates from Southern and does not go anywhere else and does not get any experience, if he graduates directly from Southern and he gets a program, he's only going to teach what he knows. I mean, that's just how it is. The greatest thing, the thing about, and this is why I went back to those old directors. The thing about those old directors, they got experiences from other places.
Multiple places.
When we talk about the Dr. Sanfords and all of them, they went to other schools. They taught at other schools where they were able to get different knowledge and apply that knowledge to their whole mass of mental capacity that they have. And then when they got these new programs, they were able to add those pieces on.
So we're saying the same thing, because I said that as well, right? That's why when you said, hey, I've lived it, I was at PV, right? You're different. You know what I'm saying? Like that goes back. That's why I give credit to where you said maybe it's old school versus new school, because you right there in the middle school, right? And we're gonna call it like you're gonna call it. You're right there in the middle school, Luke, right? So you understand what it's like to be able to say, this is where I came from. This is how I was developed. This is my background, but this is also what I'm building my foundation off of, based off of what I went and chose, or what the environments that I went and put myself in, the information that I sought after, which helped shape you as a musician, as an artist, as a band director, to where you can then be able to have an unbiased program. Everybody doesn't necessarily have that. So that's why I say when that subconscious or unsubconscious, that conscious or subconscious rather, excuse me, comes into play is if you don't have that background, which then goes to the conversation of the people that are in these seats, do they need to be in them? Because if you don't have enough leverage or enough background, enough experience to be able to figure out or kind of differentiate between where you marched at in undergrad versus how you have a vision for this new program, they can coincide or they can be totally different. It's best for them to be able to be totally different because you have to be able to be abreast of what's going on aside from where you came from. So I think they all are saying the same thing.
I think, but I do think it's possible that just Brian, for example, stand on that. One can say he just left Southern and that he's going to Texas Southern and he's doing a damn good job of keeping the tradition and changing things. So does that mean that he didn't go anywhere else and get all of this experience that you quote unquote need? Versus a lot of times, I think that for every band that we say trying to be Southern, let's look at their band director and let's see where they're, because it's really not that many, right? Like it's not Furthermore. What are the school band director from Southern besides Alcorn? Got an old cat like Dr. Zachary. What they had? Not older cat like that. I'm saying like old school director. You know what I'm saying? Versus new school. So like, a lot of these directors are not from Southern. The ones that's saying trying to be like Southern, a lot of them not coming from Southern. So what about those guys? It just seemed like we saying that they came from that school and they know how to do that. All they know how to do is where they came from. There's a lot of band directors that's quote unquote doing Southern that didn't go to Southern. So what about them?
I mean, in most cases, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, first of all, I'm only gonna speak from a secondary standpoint on this because most universities that I see that are trying, or I'm not even gonna say trying to sound like Southern, but trying to emulate the Southern sound. Most of them do come from Southern, and the ones that don't, it don't usually sound good.
Facts, and that's my point.
Southern sound good.
No, but
I'm talking about Quan.
No, but I'm saying, but like, we can all agree that Southern has a distinct sound. I think what we're basically overall preaching is, regardless of whatever undergraduate that you come from, you don't have to always emulate that particular institution that you went to. Prime example, when I do become a director of bands, that don't mean that I'm gonna be doing drum features in the middle of the show every time, just like the box. And I think that's the difference. But the band directors at the collegiate level, the few that we spoke about, the ones that went to Southern, do have that edgier, brassier sound. And the ones that didn't go to Southern, that try to get the Southern sound, they don't sound good. So it's kind of like you're trying to emulate something that you don't know. That's just like saying, when people try to get a New Orleans accent, they'd be like, say baby, and they'd be like, bro, shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that.
Like the way I be doing all the time. Say baby.
Yeah, like bro, like shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's no difference. It's no difference than you trying to emulate a region that you don't know because you don't understand the culture. Or if we say, if another race of a person is trying to act black, you be like, bro, you ain't got it because you don't come from that. So when people, band directors specifically, are not true to themselves, maybe they don't know how to develop a sound. Like Maya is saying, maybe they don't know, real talk, who they are, like Maya said, to the point where they just don't know how to develop an overall tone that's distinct about them. Because real talk, we gonna be honest, how Southern, I'm sorry, not Southern, how PV sound when I was there is not the how PV sound now. Period. It's not, and it's not the same PV when Prof Ed was there in the 80s, early 90s. It's not.
That's the case. I don't know too many schools that actually stay the same for real, because you look at Southern, they bands sound a lot different. A lot different.
I mean,
now,
yes.
I'm about to start saying what's I'm looking at these comments too, because a lot of them like this. If bands come from a certain style, right? Everybody changed. We all started somewhere. Things change over the years. So what's so wrong with Southern style if it's working?
No. I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not mad at Southern style. What I'm saying is people are trying to emulate it who may not have been there. Where it's kind of like Southern is it's kind of like we're making Southern the only standard of HBCU, where Norfolk is a standard, Prairie View is the standard. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's really no diversity in sound anymore.
And that was my argument from the stand perspective. That was it. That was literally it. There's no diversity in sound. Everybody's trying to sound like Southern.
Can I make a comment? And I know this is probably not going to go over well because it's some cult following around here. Let me say this about something.
Uh-oh.
It's the loudest shit I've ever heard in my life. But the name is Human Jukebox. And if I was to go actually turn on a fucking jukebox and play a ballad, that whole bitch ain't going to be loud. Mm-hmm. There are going to be dynamics. There are going to be soft parts. Mm-hmm. There are going to be changes in the music. And the jukebox don't be juping all the time. I'ma just be honest. It be loud all the time. When I heard the woodwinds, ask Maya how I acted. I say, "Is that the woodwinds?"
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I found it.
I don't think you listen to Southern
in a ballad.
I don't think you listen to Southern voice. I'm not gonna let you say that. Like the Human Jukebox.
No, I'm with you when you're right. No, she talking.
I don't think y'all listen. Luke, what's your favorite song that he always talks about Southern?
Wait, Justin. The only reason why I'm saying wait is because, for clarification, the Human Jukebox is specifically talking about the number of variety of songs that can be played.
There we go. And if you don't know that, you'll get the assumption she said. Gotcha.
Right.
I was about to say it, but
not specifically talking about.
It has no indication of their sound. That's what we're saying.
No, man.
No. It's really just talking about the fact that they can play. They're able to play any and everything. That's what.
Okay, well, this is an education moment for me.
And I'm
okay with that. But I'll still stick to my guns. Everything should not be loud and aggressive.
It don't always be loud and aggressive. It don't. You heard a Southern Field Quarter, man? They always got. Look at what that song they played against Jackson State last year. That damn Woman's Work. What's loud and aggressive about that? You know what I'm saying? Well, the end part it goes stupid, but it tells a story.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with that, Justin. Let me break it down. And it's not all the time, but it's quite a few times. When it comes to dynamic contrast, when we're talking about pianos, mezzo pianos, forzandos, crescendos, decrescendos, and all that, the problem that I typically have, and I'm not going to make it just a Southern thing because it's not a Southern thing. It's always out of tune when people try to play softer because they don't know how to play soft. They don't know the approach and what it takes to be able to play a piano in tune. It's all, and then in a lot of cases, most of the kids don't even know the song when it gets to the soft part. They only know the crank part. They know the part when it gets loud, but then it'd be like 5 people in the section who actually know the song, and then it sounds bad. So that's why I said I'm not, keeping it specifically to Southern. But what I am going to say is there are schools who do very, very well at dynamic contrast, terrace dynamics. Like, they do a very good job at that. And there are some schools, most of the schools who try to emulate Southern, who do a terrible job at it.
You know what's crazy, Luke? Southern don't kick people's ass off volume. They don't. They kick their ass off arrangements. That's just facts. So let's go back to the last couple of years. If you ask me, that's the new thing, because people say they always move the needle for Southern. They always like when Southern was the loudest band and bands start getting louder, like Tell a Nigga, they move the needle to talk about arrangements. You find me I don't even. They kick ass on arrangements. From when Brian was there, that Brian Hamer combination, carry your ass alive. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's arrangements, if you ask me.
But even in arrangements, because I'm not gonna take away from a Nathan Hamer arrangement at all.
At all. No.
Some of my favorite Southern songs came from the computer of Nathan Hamer. I don't necessarily want to say pen because I don't know, if he actually wrote it by hand or if he wrote it in the software. But what I will say is some of my favorite Southern arrangements came from him. But what I will say is, even in the arrangement, there is still a pedagogical way that you approach certain things at the end of the day. And I'm not saying, and once again, I'm not limiting this specifically to Southern. I'm saying the totality of band music education, there is a right way to be able to approach a day crescendo.
I personally think for the fans that everybody if we talking about how people try to emulate it and they don't know the culture, me personally, I think that's the new thing. Instead of me tearing your ass up off arrangements alone, granted it's gonna be have power behind it and it's gonna have the wow factor, but the arrangements be slapping, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess it's tomato, but I don't know. It's just one of the things that just like, okay, I get it, and it shouldn't be their fault that everybody trying to copy them and making them the standard.
But I don't think anybody blames them. Nobody blames Southern for everybody else emulating or trying to emulate Southern. Everybody says Southern's going to Southern. Like, and nobody ever says it's
Southern. Saying that with shade, like it's Southern
so
going to Southern.
Hey, so this is the thing. What we get, yeah,
I say it with shade.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
and that's fine, boy.
And it's specific to their ballots. You can talk that shit you want to. Sometimes that shit be aggressive as hell, and the song ain't aggressive.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I think the issue is just bottom line is, I think Maya said it too. Maya said when you be in that pond or in that ocean with that big fish and you trying to emulate the big fish, you get ate up. I think that's the bottom line. So if you can't be true to yourself, prime example. Huh? Oh, Ace, my thing is this. If Norfolk went up against Southern, Norfolk not about to change who they are. The problem is other people change who they are. That's the problem. So there is no diversity. There is no, I'm gonna be true to my culture and what the brand of this college or university is gonna be. That's the problem. So we not mad at Southern. We mad at the ones.
You know the difference in between, like we said with Norfolk. Norfolk style can get them a win. It can get them a win. If people respect it.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ because Norfolk style, that champagne alone could blow a lot of bands out musically.
I was gonna say Norfolk wouldn't get a win just because they chose not to be Southern. If Norfolk is gonna get a win, it's gonna be
because they gonna be Norfolk
and they came to bring exactly what they were supposed to bring.
And they shit is nice. A lot of people's style don't be it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you game plan. You get in the fight and your game plan not working, and you see he hitting your ass with that fucking right. What you gonna start?
I'm a love.
Let me say this.
Hell nah, bro.
I'll say this.
Fucking right.
I'll say this to coincide kind of with what Quan is saying. There were at the years that I was at PV, I remember specifically every time that we got ready to play Southern, we would always tell the kids, don't go in there trying to be Southern. You just go in there being PV. A lot of times when we took L's during that time,
look at Maya.
It's because, and I'm not gonna say we took an L every single time we were there, but I will tell you the times that we did was mostly because somewhere through that fifth quarter, they decided that they were going to try to overdo it and try to be Southern.
Because I was going to say, well, what happened? What ended up happening?
And they ended up shooting themselves in the foot. And me and Brown would sit back like, damn, like all they had to do was be themselves. That was
it. You know what's crazy? Look, I hate to say this, being themselves might have still got the bell. Because it might not have been hot enough. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro. Listen to me, Justin. There were times when we were sitting in rehearsal, and when they were in the pocket, we were like, God damn. But then they would go and get in front of them, and we would not get none of that same energy, the same thing that they were doing. It just, and then we sit back like, dog, like we be hitting Dr. Lee, like, what are you doing? That is not what we rehearsed. What did we rehearse? Like we would be sitting up there like thinking that same thing. Like, bro, that's not what we did, bro.
Maya, go ahead.
I feel you. And so this goes back to what we was talking about, old school and new school, right? Because when what did I say? Weeks and weeks. I think that's where the We the Blacks came from. We like ignorant shit, right? And so these new school kids, these new generations, all they know is loud and blaring and what they've seen work year over year over year over year, which goes back to the conversation of what we had, why we don't think Southern really has to recruit anymore, because niggas gonna fall on their back. People gonna fall on their back or regardless. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you say that, but if you're not getting them accolades, whether they in-house, in them comments, or what have you, all that goes out the window.
Girl,
when
you
it's
are
game
preaching.
time, all that, and this is coming from somebody who was staring them across the feeling the heat, feeling it from behind me, knowing what I've heard in practice, hearing what I see, what I hear coming from across the field, and being right there in the middle, like what we gonna do, and even having a point of judgment in myself was like, nah, we got to turn it up. I ain't never bent my back like this, but I'm gonna bend it today because now we got work to do. It comes like that, especially when you're in them ebb and flows. No, listen. On the hindsight,
I'm with you.
Me and my age right now, I don't agree. But me knowing myself back then, hindsight, the mindset that I had, and knowing that at the end of the day, louder is what is going to get the people house, louder or seemingly exciting. Ignorant shit is what is going to get the people excited. Nobody when it comes to craft, musicality, tonality, the majority of the people don't care about that, right? You said everybody not a bandsman. So if BCU was to get out there and do, hey, baby, they wouldn't necessarily know who it came from. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So yes, I hear what you're
Watch
saying.
this,
I
though.
agree with you as an adult, but as a child, well, as a young adult, in that band and not necessarily knowing or not being confident in my program, knowing the transitions that have been through, knowing we not really who we supposed to be or what we're supposed, we don't even know what we're supposed to be or who we're supposed to be. When that big teacher staring you in the face, it's going to come down to that. And that's because that's when you're looking at something that's in transition versus something that's seemingly stable. Because when we think about Southern year over year to the masses, it seems not necessarily neutralized, but it seems the most stable. Or at the very end, it's entertaining because it's loud, it's boisterous, it's flamboyant. So that is a graph, and that's that us, the younger generations, gravitate towards. It may not necessarily be correct, but that's really where it comes into play.
Hey, prime example, Justin. When I was marching in the band. When we was playing Southern, the box wasn't like, yeah, we playing Southern, like we got to crank it up. We was like, we about to smoke shit out Funk Factory, straight up, because we were that confident as a drum section. Like we wasn't about to when we was playing TSU. We just Funk Train. Okay, yeah, our competition was to be a better us, and every band does.
We had that conversation this weekend, and I just
there's two things. There's two things that I want to say. So the first thing, well, three things. Culture. First of all, I disagree with you. Thornton trained us to be machines. Now, I'm not going to relate it to no daggone band. Mr. Thornton trained us to be complete machines from top to bottom. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, going back to what you were saying, Maya, the problem, because as a student, it's hard for me to grasp that concept, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But the hardest part for me is the fact that a lot of times y'all didn't really realize how good you all were doing.
Exactly.
And then y'all thought that you all were in a bad place and then decided that you guys were going to do something different that went against the grain, that put you all in an even worse situation than what you were.
You saying exactly?
But here's the problem. But here's the problem with that, Maya. Here's the problem with that. And I know that me and Brown said this a few times. I know Brown has said it a few times specifically. The problem is you just didn't trust your leaders. You didn't trust who was in front of you.
Why wouldn't
that within itself was an issue. So but on the student side of things, this is why I say it's hard for me to grasp that concept. And
you come from a different cloth, Luke. You come from a different time, and you cut from a different cloth.
I'm not. No. First of all, I ain't gonna say from a different time. I'm just gonna say from a different cloth because of the fact. But different cloth definitely. But because of the fact, like I just told Culture, Ronald B. Thornton trained us to be machines. We didn't take L's. We didn't care who. The way that we thought is the same way that we thought when I went to Norfolk State. We didn't care who it was. You was gonna catch these hands with the
Everybody ain't come from that, Luke.
But that's why I said I'm from a different cloth. I agree with that.
Thornton,
Because when I went to Norfolk, when I went to Norfolk, that was the same idea. We didn't give a goddamn if it was a middle school. If it was Poonduck Elementary, you was gonna catch this work. It just didn't matter.
Hear me, Thornton. I apologize for my ignorance. I'm not familiar with the name. Is that your band director at Willow Ridge or?
Yes.
Okay. How long had Thornton been there at Willow Ridge?
Since the 80s.
Established. The vision is established. You talking to somebody coming in just off the cusp of 2 major losses, 2 bands within 2 years coming in, somebody brand new with people in their ear. It's different when it comes.
But I'm not talking about y'all though. I'm not talking about y'all. Because the first thing that me and Brown always talk about is the fact that when we came in 2012, 2013, y'all had heart. 100%. Y'all had heart.
We ain't had no respect for y'all.
Well,
we ain't had no choice but to have heart, bro.
No. But listen, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about
I mean them because I love y'all. I just want to be clear about that. Just want to be clear. I was raised right. They didn't have no respect for y'all.
I think to what Maya's saying
about the years after though. When we had our
momentum to build that because they had to learn how to trust y'all because it was different, right? Because so part of it was like, okay, came from Southern, okay, partially, but then you go, but he came from Norfolk. All these people come from Norfolk. What they gonna do for us? I'm just telling you honestly how we thought.
Yeah, and I don't think directors want to hear that. You gotta think about it. You know the worst part about it is you sit there listening to your director and they telling you do this, and you still feel like you're getting your ass jammed on. To my point, she gonna do that extra back then when she wasn't even taught that, you know what I'm saying? But what y'all say do, it don't seem like it's getting us this W. You know what I'm saying? So
the only reason why I'm saying no, and I'm only saying this because I experienced it, I watched y'all do this. When we got crabs in 2014, 2015, blah, 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 blah. The problem wasn't the crabs. The problem was the fact that the older people who had been there, which they had been part of the development, who just didn't like us or for whatever, or didn't trust us or whatever, started getting into their ears and saying, don't do this, or don't listen to this, or do it this way. So it wasn't the kids, it wasn't the crabs. It was them old fools who just couldn't let it go. Which is why today's PV is so different, and which is why I made the comment earlier. You had to get through that sift of the niggas, the ones who like to go toe to toe. You have to get them out the batch to really make it sink in, to really make it hit. 14, 15 is really when Doc's vision and y'all's vision really hit its stride. 16. You don't think so? 16. 15, 16. Not 14. Okay. 15, 16. But what did it take from 15 to 16? It was that cusp of the people that was on their way out, and those people that was one foot in Arkansas, 1 foot in Texas, or shit, whatever. And we sent them letters out like you are no longer welcome. It took that flow of trying to get the bad seeds out, and those bad seeds were really people who were just hurt, had a lot to deal with, had gone through so much animosity, so much turmoil. 3 different people, boom, boom, boom. Some of them, two people for everybody else, and not being able to get accustomed to the fact that no, there's a new vision, there's a new time upon us, and everybody is not out to get you. That's so like if you come in with that, like. I'm not letting my guard down because why? I don't trust you. I'm speaking for the people who my CBs, CSs, the folks that y'all had issues with, and even my rookies, the people who had just crabbed the year before. This was their mindset. So of course, all of that to then say whatever vision that y'all had or was trying to place, no, we can't stand in it. So at the end of the day, when it comes time to look at the big fishes, the medium fishes, or whoever, they're just going for what they know. They're going for what worked in the past, or just literally just what they felt in their heart. Because I can't trust you to take me to promised land. I can't trust them because they already gone. We just out here going for what we know.
That's the mindset. And that's why I say you cut from a different cloth, because I don't think that in that same predicament, y'all would have acted or been in the same mindset. But I'm telling you from what I experienced and what I lived through, that is my perspective based off of the masses.
Okay. I can't tell you what your feelings were during that time.
Not my feelings. I was on board. Let's be clear. Again, let's be clear. She was on board with it.
Not everything.
I got a question.
most
So,
Yeah,
MJ Greatness, that's exactly what Norfolk did at the Battle of the Bands last year when they faced SU. What is it that we did last year? I'm interested.
You say what?
What?
The comment from MJ Greatness was that's exactly what Norfolk did at the Battle of the Bands last year when they faced SU.
Oh, I don't know. I guess. All right.
Hey,
So
I'm staying out of it.
I don't know what you're talking about. So bring that up. But while we're on that, so okay, let's go to the last comment, not comment. Let's go to the last topic that we had. Boy, we carried on longer than
I knew this show was gonna be long.
I knew it was gonna be a little bit longer.
I did too. I figured it was gonna be long.
All right, so let's do this. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Maya getting boo text. Y'all go ahead.
Ain't no call ID. I don't know who this is, Lord. The devil is calling. I done said too much truth.
We would like for you to turn in everything.
Exactly.
Y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy for this episode, man. Let's go ahead and keep that YouTube algorithm up. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks tomorrow. Just make sure that you type in Real Talk That Talk, except for Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Talk That Talk and you will find us. This question, let me see which questions I want to go to. We can bring up the other question next week. We kind of already talked about that, but we'll bring that up next week. All right, this next question. What are people looking for from college bands? This question I saw posted up from Brother Lawhorn on his Facebook page, and I'm assuming, and I'm only assuming because I heard a lot of chatter. A lot of people were talking about A&T show, right? There was a lot of chatter about the shows were boring and blah, 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 blah. What are people looking for from college bands? Justin, let's start. No, yeah. Did you start the last one? You did.
It is the last one.
You did. Maya, you got it.
Oh, Lord. Okay. It's going to be controversial. So, honestly, what I've been thinking, this is going to be controversial. I think people are looking to capture old school HBCU, pre-SWAC rules, the eras of the 90s and the 2000s, like when truly halftime is game time was literally that. I think people are looking to capture that again. And I think that we press the issue of how do we get creative is trying to get back to those wow factors of what made us fall in love with the culture in the first place. I do, however, think that unfortunately, just like what Quan said earlier, when you have done something so great, can you ever meet that again? I think we're in the times of right now where we're just keeping our head above water. And I think that people want to get to the fact of, well, we standing up, but we walking on water like we used to be. And whether it's the people in place, the generation of the students, or all of it encompassed, we're unable to get there. So now we're reaching, just like kind of sort of with this NCAT show. We're trying to do any and everything, any new idea that we can possibly think of to throw it at the board and see what sticks, to possibly see, okay, is this the new thing? But honestly, I think we're just I think people want to relive what we fell in love with, and it's almost impossible to get back to that point for many reasons. And I hate to say that because I don't want to be a pessimist, and I don't want it to seem like it's just the decline of the culture. But especially from this weekend, given the opportunity, it was a free show, right? You had the opportunity to literally shoot that hole at the water. You know what I'm saying? We haven't really had a true marching season in the past 2 or 3 years. This was the opportunity for people to show their ass and show why they are who they are. And we're missing the mark, and we've been missing the mark. And I think that right now it's just wanting to get back to what we truly love, but we don't know how to get there, or we don't have the tools or resources to do so.
Hey, can I say something real quick, Luke, to Mike's point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the bottom line, it's not that we're incapable of getting there. The problem is people really don't want to people really don't want to get the proper teaching to get there. I believe that as African American, as Black people, we're the most creative people that God has placed on this earth. That's my opinion. But what I truly believe is people really don't want to take this craft serious to invest their lives into it, to truly be the next trailblazers like Dr. Griggs, Prof. Edwards, Dr. William P. Foster. Everybody wanted microwavable. And I'm going to be clear when I say this, and I'm being sincere. I was accepted into a DMA program 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. What I did was I sought the advice from Dr. Zachary, well, soon to be, Dr. Rick Brown, Julian, and a few other people. Was accepted already. As soon as I graduated with my master's, I received my acceptance letter 2 weeks later. Rick was like, "Say, bro, I know, that's congratulations, but at the same time, that's not a real residency. That's not a real program where you will be respected amongst the masses of the 1%ers, because it's kind of like the backdoor way of getting it." So what I did, I sacrificed myself, my ego, because I would have been a doctor possibly by now, or at least doing my comps. Because what I want is, I truly want to invest myself in the craft of music so that I can do it properly, but not shortcut it, and do it and cross those doctoral burning sands as my people did before, the proper way, to be the next trailblazer. Everybody wants to do things from the YouTube university, when you got to sit down, buckle yourself down, and invest. Dr. Griggs invested himself by going to speaking to Bill Moffitt to create the patterns in motion that you see Southern do today. Everybody want to do it microwavable, and that's not how it goes. And that's from arranging, that's from drill shows, that's from pedagogy, that's from even establishing bands from the secondary level that trickles up to the collegiate level. Everybody wanted microwavable, bro, and that's the problem that we're dealing with right now. Everybody want to fast track it, but sometimes you got to sit down, and like my grandfather would say, you got to suffer through some things to truly be great. To be great is going to cost you something. And we got too much egos and trying to have penis measuring competitions merely not to ask, how do you do this? So we can't be creative in developing new shows because everybody want to do the step 2 drills, because why? Like we said in the last question, we want to emulate what we know. Instead of, honestly, what is wrong with the East and West show and developing it in a great way? But if you don't know how to do that, it's easier to go to the step 2 drills, because all you got to do is count. So I mean, we can get back to those days, but people got to start investing in themselves properly.
I know that was a response to mine, but was that also your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to come back and ask you again. All right. Yeah. 100%. Justin, what are people looking for from college marching bands?
I think people are looking for the best of what's hot right now. I mean, in a civil way around it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever's hot at the moment, you know what I'm saying? Whether that being like the Kings, whether that having the best dance team, they want to be the best of that, and they want the attention and the glory to be glorified. I mean, and nothing's wrong with that, if you ask me, because shit. Besides doing this for your passion and fun and whatever made you want to do marching band right now, everybody want to be considered the best. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't out here just doing it like, to say that I'm doing it. Everybody wants to be glorified as being the best. So I guess that's my answer, to be the best of what's hot right now. And sometimes we can say sometimes what's always hot at the moment ain't technically what's best for the culture. Sometimes what's hot at the moment wouldn't be best to certain people. Like, just because that's what they do in the swag, the MEAC might not like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's hot at the moment. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna get glorified. It happens. So people look for a lot out of marching bands, and sometimes people look for things out of marching band that they didn't do when they was in the band. You know what I'm saying? Or just, back in my day, we did it like this. Well, y'all really wouldn't all that like you think y'all would. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's my answer. The best of, they look for whatever their standard is as well. So yeah.
All right, Portia, what are people looking for from college marching bands?
To be good in the stands. I don't think mainstream culture appreciates field shows anymore, and I don't know where that shift came from. We talked about this. We talking about mainstream, or we talking about band heads? Because I think the mainstream is looking for them to be loud in the stands and, play stuff off the radio, which is all fine, well and good. But I don't know. I just think the standards are lower for what we expect. I think you used to have more holistic marching bands who could give you a halftime show and give you, good stand music, a feel good time at a game. But I think they're looking for more stand stuff now than a holistic band. And I don't know how we got here, but here we are. That's why these bands, if you look at the effort that was put forth in the stands, them field shows was lackluster. I don't care what nobody say, lackluster. It was more effort to me put on how we sound in the stands and blowing that hole than it was to getting out here and executing these drills on a college level. We saw so many crooked lines and people out of place, people lost. But everybody was, working on all cylinders in the stands. Every flag was moving, every dancer was dancing, everybody was playing. But when it got on that field, it was a lot of hit or miss or not real, execution happening for it to be a college level band. So I think people are looking for and accepting, if they blowing that hole in the stands, if they sound good in the stands, we okay with them being lackluster on the field.
So, and let me just ask this question as a caveat to the question, and anybody can answer this. Does people's desire for what marching band is diminish, or can it diminish what we know marching band to be?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Can people's desire for what they want for marching band now diminish what we know marching band to be?
Yes,
absolutely.
We've already arrived there. I'm gonna tell you right now, my focus, I don't give a shit what them Silks do in the stands. I really don't. Unless it's vulgar, I do not care. I don't hold sectionals on that. I don't critique it. I don't monitor it. Nothing. But that drill, that field show, I'm gonna pick that thing apart 27 times. You gonna march that shit from top to bottom flawlessly before you get on that field. I am gonna pick it apart. So this culture of the stands is weird to me, but that's what became popular because of Majorette, because of social media and the shortness of clips and stuff like that. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know how we got here. I woke up one day and it was all about the stands and don't nobody give a shit about the field. So I don't know how we got here, but I think popular culture has influenced what is considered top tier in band. And that's weird to me, but yeah, absolutely. I think that has shifted what people prioritize in band.
Why y'all be raising y'all hand like y'all in class? Just say what you need to say.
I agree. I mean, when you say that whole diminished thing, that just tells me like
Smith.
If that's the case, yes. But I also feel like, what's wrong? We always talk about change and for the better or whatever. What's wrong with the newer generation liking stands more? You know what I'm saying? I get it. It's a marching band. He's with the march and the field show is important. I'm not saying one is more important than the other, because it's not, if you ask me, but that's the way it is in nowadays culture. But what's so wrong with the new generation liking stands more?
I don't. So I don't.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, for me, one, you have the availability to be the most creative in a field show. That's where your creativity comes from. That, to me, that
Look,
shows.
make sure you got my question. What's wrong with them liking stands more?
Well, I'm telling you,
Okay.
you get to use the maximum of your brain capacity in a field show. If you get a drill that got 40 something, 50 something, 60 something, 100 and something sets to it, and your dot is in a different place than or a different place in almost every other set other than the step 2 drill. And if I'm using, and I'm gonna use them as an example, if I'm A&T and I got to be the dude back there turning the daggone board 3 and 4 and 5 times at the right time where y'all say somebody was messing up, I ain't see that yet. I'm gonna go back and look at that. But that takes a lot of brain capacity and thought process in that. That takes a lot of work.
Well,
I have a problem just because of the fact that people, and that kind of goes back to, I think, what Quan said, people don't want to do work no more.
Yeah, because it take a lot more effort. Everybody can stand still and play, be a damn pep band. But can you march and play? Because you love Southern, and they gonna Southern, and they gonna be loud on the field, but they not as loud on that field when they marching and playing as they are standing still.
They're not standing facing forward doing the left side stuff. The sound.
But I'm gonna say this: ain't nothing wrong. The bottom line is ain't nothing wrong with stands, but we all know the balance of percentage of life. If you focus on stands the most, if you focus your band practice time on learning stand tunes 60% of the time out of that week, well, guess what? You will become a stand band. So if you spend 65-70% on stand tunes and then the remaining 30% on your field, you're gonna be a sorry ass field band. And so then the culture, then the culture then develops of the band. Say, bro, like, hey, we need to hurry up and just do this like it's a chore. Then we go get back to stand practice. When Prof Ed was even in his last leg, I'll never forget my very first freshman year, my crab year, when we went against that massive TSU and got smashed. We only went to the classic with about 4 or 5 songs at the most. But the field show and the drum feature was on point. His mentality was, you leave it on the field. That's what he kept saying. I want butt kicking playing on the field. I don't care.
I don't know where this culture came from, besides, I say, social media, because, like, so to this point, they value the field. It may not seem like it, but they value the field. Any Jew could tell you, you know what I'm saying? They are outside practicing way more than they is in the band room. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that with the new generation, I know for sure for most of the popular programs out here in the band world, if I'm a kid in high school and I'm looking at this band program, most times they're getting attracted from that band from watching a stand clip. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say every high school, most of the popular ones, it's a stand clip. Like, and maybe you can blame it on how we say our generation, the newer generation is lazy. You can ass out there in the field, ain't no easy job. You know what I'm saying? But
I got a question for you though, Justin.
Yeah.
So my question is, and like, I'm not being funny, but I'm being sincere with this question. Do you believe Southern has a specific formula to their drills?
I'm gonna say, yeah, man. And what's crazy about that is, I watched Southern last show from the other thing. The stuff that Garrett highlighted in that damn in that field show, people always say the step 2 drill, they try to like downplay it because Southern has mastered that. But like the other stuff to get to them formations and right before they go to the Giants team, it's a lot that goes into that. It's not easy at all. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, they have formula.
But I know for a fact. So when I was studying drill with Dr. Zachary 2 summers ago, we had to go through history of drills. And I know for the most part, and this is not knock, that's why I say Southern has mastered it, is because they had a 92 show against Jackson, that a 92 show that was against Jackson, and then they had a 2000, I believe, 18 show against, I forgot the school, but it was the same exact drill.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is, not saying that they don't appreciate drills, but it's a formula that works for them that they know. The difference is everybody else cannot use that formula, because then what? You jocking Southern again. But the problem is everybody else now is trying to formulate those drills for the most part. Not Norfolk, not NCAT, not PV. But a lot of other schools are emulating themselves after that formula that they don't have access to, or they either don't know. So then it goes back to the lack of diversity. So then who wants to see, prime example, Alcorn do the L drill like Southern if it ain't Southern, but then they're claiming to be a different kind of band? It goes back to the same thing. And that's why we always say on this show, we appreciate and love Southern for pushing the culture. But the downfall is everybody, for the most part, wants to be like them, which then lacks diversity amongst the HBCU world. It's not Southern's fault, but it's our problem.
I'm sorry, Justin, before you say that, let me make a correction. I'm saying marching, but my definition coming from Norfolk of a marching band, leg lift band, is different. So the person said in the OA said, catch SU marching down the street. That power is still there. Yeah, because it ain't 90s. No shade.
And to your point, question, because when I see bands that's supposed to be marching, like for example, like when I went to Canada Norfolk show last year, great show, nothing's wrong with it because that's y'all style. But like when y'all like be in a formation and like y'all like just take a couple steps to the side or up and down, and y'all make a new formation and all the power is to the front. I get that. But where I'm from and from my culture, we just from 2 different cultures, I'm like, I know that shit ain't easy and I ain't gonna downplay it at all. But me, I'd rather us march and get some down formation than stand right here and decide march, or like, this is proper terminology for it, than to get there. Like how you say Southern ain't as loud when they're on the field because the horn is different ways, but if your horn bell faces like some course style shows, your horn faces the same way the whole time, is gonna be that. So tomato, but I would love to see, nothing to Quan's point, I don't think it's wrong. Nothing wrong with a band trying to, I ain't say emulate another band, also try to do something different. But it's not easy, man. So I don't know. I guess tomato, bro. But I mean, I don't find nothing wrong with nobody what they do, and I don't knock nobody for trying to be better. And if you're trying to upgrade yourself to what's hot at the moment, I don't think nothing's wrong with that. But you're still going to get flack for it regardless. You could have a flawless new stylish show. Fucking. Unless you can do a damn L drill, they can smash it. But if you're gonna say if you like something, oh well, like I'm saying, I don't know, bro. It depends, man.
I will say this. Rick said it once on this show. Just and this may be a truth, and it's a hard truth for myself to swallow, and many people who think like me. Those old days are just gone. And the reason why I say that is because while I will say hearing somebody play Shaft in the stands was like super dope to me, especially how the video happened at A&T when they was already whooping their butt anyway and the lights cut off and the fireworks happened. But that's not what got me interested in Norfolk. What got me interested in Norfolk really was Carry On Drill, Morris Brown, 2001. Like I had seen videos of Norfolk prior to, but that drill specifically, like I was like, yo, I ain't never seen nobody drilling like this. So, but I think that just comes from a different time. Even somebody like me who went to the Ridge, like
Y'all drilled at the Ridge too, huh? Y'all drilled at Will Ridge,
drills
right?
were our thing, you know. But here's the truth: we did Southern drills. You know what I'm saying? But in doing Southern drills, we put the energy and everything we had into those Southern drills. You know, and that's just what it was. I just think that we're just, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I think it's very unfortunate, we're just in a different culture where the drills don't matter. I will 100% agree. A lot of that drilling was massively lackluster, to say the least. Now, and honestly, there were some decent drill concepts, because not everybody did a step 2. But I guarantee you that if you would have put a lot more energy into a lot of those drills, it would have came off a lot better than what was actually presented. So
if we're saying, I'm sorry, that this is a different time, so are we going to start seeing more lackluster drills, and we just supposed to be okay with that?
I don't think so. Remember, we said that this is the first. This is band camp. We expecting more out of it. And another thing too, we don't take account for how many high schools not drilling like talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes some kids they go to college not knowing a lick of marching concept. You know what I'm saying? So
here's why I don't agree with that.
Still sound like an excuse to me.
I don't agree with that. We drilled we have been in band camp.
I mean it to the point of like why stands are more popular. Back to that. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of high schools don't drill, but at the same time, I don't know. Everything I've seen this weekend, I'm hoping, y'all, that everything gets better. I don't want your last statement to be true, Porch. I hope you guys see we about to start seeing some lackluster.
I'm just asking because last year, to me, it was better. So why are we getting worse? We more out of COVID and we're getting worse. I don't understand that, because last year I saw more. So I'm confused.
I don't think the shows was that bad, man. I mean, I don't know. I
didn't say that everybody was horrible, but to me, there was not college level drilling from everybody, and I expected more. I mean, even from last year, I don't know how we declined. That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm telling you now, if Norfolk had showed up, nigga, it would have been a drill, and we would have did it.
Norfolk next year. Tell Norfolk show up next year. They probably come next year.
I don't know if that's on them. You know, they don't just say, "Hey, we going."
Yeah, somebody was like, "Why y'all not coming? We gonna just show up?" That ain't how that go. I don't.
All right, let's go ahead and get ready to wrap this thing up, boy. We done been on here for quite a time. So let me do it this way. Let me run this commercial real quick, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna give our final thoughts, and then we're gonna peace out. All right.
Hi, I'm Eric Prince, traditional show style coordinator for US Fans. Very excited for what we have coming down the road. To reflect on the past, our initial contest that we had at Prairie View A&M with Dr. Timmy Zachary was very successful. Excited for 2022. We're going to start in Montgomery, Alabama with Professor Brandon Howard out of Huntington College. Then we're going to return back to Texas at Prairie View A&M with Dr. Timmy Zachary. And then we're going to head up to Virginia State with Professor Taylor Whitehead. And then we're going to finish up 2022 back in North Carolina with my peer here, Mr. Gary M. Bryant.
Guess what? 2023, we got more exciting things coming your way. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to go down to Shreveport, Louisiana, Jacksonville, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, and we got one more, Jackson, Mississippi. So get ready. Here we come.
All right. Let's go ahead and get ready to close this thing out. This has been a great show, to say the least. I knew it was going to be pretty long. I guess I knew it was going to be long. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to get out of here. Final thoughts, Maya. Anything you got to say? Anything you got for the culture?
I mean, just as I expected. You know what I'm saying? I wish we would have had the mics for our truly authentic conversation this weekend. But No, we should have left that on the grid. Just kidding. If you was there, you was there. If you wasn't, you should have been there. I mean, great conversation. This is definitely. I'm not sure where we're going to end up this season. I was excited for the season. Hopefully, this was not a display of what's to come. I'm just going to leave it at that. Hopefully, that this was just kind of, maybe it was last minute. Let's just throw something on the field, and then we really going to get to it in the season. That's my hopes. I'm going to be optimistic in that nature. Aside from that, conversation was amazing. We definitely uncovered some great things. And I mean, yeah, to the new season, to our new season.
Okay. All right. Quan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Yeah.
Are you still in the car?
Can you hear me?
Are you still in the car?
No.
Oh, you're in the bathroom. All right, go ahead.
You stupid, bro. I'm not. But my whole point is I saw this Roland Martin was commenting on the FAMU situation. I don't know if y'all saw it or read it.
You don't read the private chat, do you?
Hold on. Nah, I did. I don't see it right now.
You signed off, but if you would have read, that was the first thing that I put in the private chat. Anyway, but
okay.
I was saying we're gonna talk about that next week, is what I put in the private chat.
Oh well, we'll talk about it next week then. Just bottom line, we gotta do better. I'm gonna leave my comments for next week. Let's just do better, Black people. Let's do better.
Write your comments down.
Oh, they down, bro. That's a damn shame.
Bet. Justin, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
It was great meeting you guys this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Y'all funny as hell. Portia is a bully. You know, I'm just playing. So that's it.
Hey, y'all she was going in on Pineapple Head. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, have my back.
hey, but Justin, one thing we all know moving forward: if she don't get the towel, she don't love you.
Facts. Man, but yeah, man, I just think I enjoyed the event this weekend.
That's not true. Wait a minute, Quan. That's not true. If she don't warm it up, then
it's the warm towel. It's the warm towel.
No. It's the forehead kiss for me. That's the one.
It's the warm towel and the forehead kiss.
Hey, we had a time, okay?
We had a time.
Boy, that's crazy. But yeah, man, I just hope that this was every band's band camp, and or whatever, and everything's gonna be so much better. This weekend I'm expecting everything to be better from everybody, and we're gonna come back next week and have some great things to say, So yeah, that's my final thoughts.
All right, bet, man. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
It was really good hanging out with y'all. Like, I had a blast, okay? I am refreshed. The kids was like, I mean, are you okay? Like, you're so happy this week. Yes, because I had a break, okay? Praise the Lord. We ate good, drank good, had great conversation, lots of laughs. We can only go up from here. That's all I'm going to say. We kind of started from the bottom. So we can only go up from here. I actually feel like we need to have like a redo at the end of the season so we can compare and have progress notes. Because, woo, child, I think not the goal of this, and what we talked about was not to bash any program. I just think I have really high expectations of our band programs. I have really high expectations of auxiliary units on a college level. We have the ability to do this stuff at a high level. And I feel like every time we get an opportunity, even though it was the beginning of the season, even though it was straight out of band camp, I know here we had those conversations that this is an opportunity, especially for us, because a lot of people don't see us, to show them who we are. And I don't feel like anybody should ever approach an opportunity from a mindset of we're going to do something. Our mindset for this culture has to be we're going to be top notch every time we present ourselves. And so that was just my expectation. That's where my comments were coming from. It's from a place of love. Like, I know that there is potential out there for these programs. So I'm just looking forward to sitting on Sundays between football, because I love football, watching these band clips and seeing the progress and seeing where we go from here. That's it.
Bet. And I got a couple of things, but what I will say too is we gotta plan our next event. By the way, we need to put a schedule down on when the next event is going to be. So we'll talk about that another time. But I definitely agree. We had a time this weekend. One of the things that I felt like happened, Justin learned a lot more about us. Than what he gets on here. So I felt that was pretty interesting because
I was like, geez, y'all really cool, man. I said I was glad because at first I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna come back. I was not. I was gonna beat that boy up. Anyway, but yeah, man. Yeah, I was gonna come back. So let me go back and hang out with them. But y'all funny, man. Y'all funny.
Yeah, man. So what I will say is this, man. If you guys are watching, or if you're watching this later on, if you're not watching this live, man, you can get the chance to hang out with us anytime, man. You guys go check out the Patreon. If you go inside of the description inside of the show, you will find the link to the Patreon. Just click it, check it out. I would say definitely invest yourself in it, man. It's something that we are really proud of, man. And so it'll give you the chance to be able to hang out with us and all that kind of stuff, man. So, but we had a great time. I definitely will. I didn't want to leave. I really didn't, because Houston home for me, man. So I didn't want to leave. My wife didn't want to leave. And the guys blessed us because we ended up staying a little bit longer than we thought. So I was a little bit happy about that. We ate some good food that day, had some great brunch. And then I got to introduce another person to Buc-ee's. So I was excited by that.
Bless God for the Buckster.
Look at here.
Let me explain something to y'all. I've been talking about Buc-ee's since I came back to Virginia. I've been showing people pictures like, listen, it's a whole meat section. They was chopping up brisket. Listen, it was an entire experience. I'm like, yo, if we ever go back to the battle, we got to stop all 7 buses at the Buc-ee's, okay? We got to take the whole Legion out our way to the Buc-ee's. It was like, you talk about a damn gas station.
Listen, everybody says that until they walk inside of it.
They come out, we got Wawa. I said, no, it's on steroids. It's like the Walmart.
Wawa is pretty interesting though. I never seen a setup like that, but it's more.
First of all, I never seen them in the flavors of icy. Okay, it was like watermelon, pineapple, pina colada. I'm like, we got blue and red in Virginia.
Blue red.
Say, hey, Julie.
My life, okay. I was more excited about Buc-ee's than anything else on the whole trip.
Listen, I walked her in there, and her eyes was so big. She was looking around like it was an experience for me to let her experience it. And you know how it happened? The way it happened was, we were coming from PV because I took her to PV. We went through Hobart and all that kind of stuff, went around the campus, whatever. So we coming from PV, and I was taking that back road, where it cuts off. Well, if you've been there, but yeah. I was taking that back road where it cuts off and comes up where Buc-ee's was. So I was like, yeah, I'm taking this back road and it leads up to Buc-ee's. And she was like, what's Buc-ee's? And I was like, you ain't never heard of Buc-ee's? I was like, oh shoot. Yeah, we got we were on our way to breakfast. But bro, we had to stop him. Boy, she definitely had time in there.
Next stop is Waller County line. Now we gotta
get that potato.
Come back. And then the breakfast spot they went to was slamming. I ate so good. Okay, when I tell you I'm detoxing, what's in this cup? Water. Like it's bad out here. Like it's so. Somebody asked, did I get my hair braided? Yes, I did. I went and got right when I got back. Okay, it's looking strange, but yeah, guys. Hey, y'all showed me a time. Buc-ee's was the highlight. Okay, I loved meeting y'all. Quan, I went to his school and hung out with his students. They off the chain, but it was all love.
I got some good kids, man. I got some good kids.
Hey, they was off the chain. They was like, "Are you our new flag coordinator?" No. I work in Virginia. I live in Virginia. But I had such a good time. But yeah, Buc-ee's. I've been talking about Buc-ee's since I got back. Everybody. Next time you go, find you one. It ain't one close to me. I done Googled it already.
Hey, Julia.
Yo.
Hey, you gonna do them Quano wings, the chicken fried beignets wings? Come on, bro.
I'm not doing that shit. No,
I'm
not doing
that. Sound good, bro.
No, it does not. It does not.
What? You bring the bag, bring your wings?
So Julie and the wingman. So
I say I just threw an idea.
Not a
idea.
wingman. Like I be helping people get somebody like
the wingman.
Nah, he a wingman. Like he the
Did you
chicken
even pull out
wingman.
the air fryer? I mean the deep fryer.
He ain't even do it. So that's why I told him make the flavor. We talking about.
I didn't bring the
and
equipment, bro. Listen, I put the information out there. I said, "Yo, I'm coming down. If y'all want a plate, here's the link." I was like, "If y'all want wings, here's the link." Nobody hit the link.
You ain't sent me the link. I told you. I said I would have bought 5 boxes of it.
Fried chicken.
I want the cookies though. I still ain't getting no cookies, but that's a whole different story.
That's okay. Put something on the calendar next month.
All right,
November or something.
So next
we going to Bayou Classic, right?
We going to Bayou?
No.
I thought we did say we was going to Bayou.
I thought that's my birthday.
Buy me a plane ticket, baby. They wanted $700 for me to fly out of Virginia. No,
man, we need to find that because that's my birthday.
We can pass the hat, but Portia not paying $700 for a flight.
Come on, we gotta go to the Bayou.
We gonna figure this one out because us in New Orleans.
Shit. And then we could go to
restaurants.
We
can't have no cameras. She might tell us so we should have had the mics. No, we shouldn't have. Have a show.
We can have the mics. We can have the mics.
That's gonna have to be that's a Patreon episode.
Hey,
you gotta pay for that footage.
Exactly, that's the Patreon.
Let me tell you something. You wouldn't have been able to post half that shit that I was saying.
Damn straight.
Patreon.
Yeah, you get that Patreon exclusive. I'm telling you, because I will bring the mics and pop the camera. We can do it. All right,
I'll pay for that.
No, man, y'all just think. Do y'all remember the stuff we were saying directly? We was fresh off watching this show. Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying, Justin. They be acting like that shit was made for TV. It's not. Like it was bad.
Listen, it was so bad. It was so bad. We everybody in the restaurant was looking at us like, God dang, they be lied over
like,
there.
What the hell is wrong with them? Except for the one guy that was like, yo, I used to march.
Right. The dude who was a bad head too. He was like, yeah, I'm a bad head too, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
I saw him looking through the thing. He was looking at us
the whole way from us and heard our entire conversation. No, that shit is not made for TV.
Hey, look, I think it is. But anyway, man.
Hey, you can't record on Patreon, huh?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You can do video and audio, all the things.
I'm talking about the people can't record us, huh?
Oh, like screenshot.
Yeah, because I don't want that.
I mean, they could, but I mean, if you can.
Well, I'm gonna be quiet then, because I work for a public school district, so
that's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gotta get ready.
Well, I guess you gotta quit.
No, I ain't quitting.
Just kidding around. Just kidding. Just kidding. Never mind.
Yeah, them little babies will cry and everything else, man. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. This has been a great episode. It's been a great show. I can definitely say I had a great weekend. So other than that, Maya show, Portia, what?
I was like, what
tomorrow? Tomorrow. That's all.
Oh yeah, my runner.
Okay, so y'all make sure y'all check it out tomorrow, man. I want the same amount of people that was in here tonight to be in there for tomorrow, man. Other than that, I ain't got nothing else. This has been a great show. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.